City ready? All right, I hereby call this meeting to order. This is the special magistrate for the city of West Palm Beach. Good morning. I'm going to be the special magistrate for today's meeting. I just want to begin by explaining how this process is going to work. Generally, we hear the building cases on the agenda first, and the city will call the cases as they appear on the agenda. If you've appeared at today's hearing, your case will be called before those where no one has appeared, but that is only true if you have signed in at the rear of the chamber. If you have not yet signed in, please check with one of the code officers in the rear of the chamber. Once your case is called, I ask that you proceed to the podium that is on my right-hand side, which is over here. The city will put on its testimony and evidence first. You will have an opportunity to review the evidence and ask questions of any of the city's witnesses. You will also have an opportunity then to testify and to present me with your own evidence. Once I have all the testimony and evidence, I will make a ruling. I will enter a written order either today at the hearing or in the next few days, which you'll receive a copy of. If you have any questions as we go through the process, please feel free to ask them. This is not a formal courtroom. The formal rules of evidence do not apply here. However, despite the fact that it is not a formal courtroom, all testimony given today is under oath under penalty of perjury. So I'm going to ask anyone, if you are going to testify today, or you think you're going to testify, or there's a possibility that you might testify, would you please rise and raise your right hand and we can swear you in. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under the penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Florida? Yes, I do. Please be seated. The city can call their first case.
Agenda item number 3, CE 220-80147, 200 Avalida Road, Rucata, James.
Good morning. My name is Joe Valdez, Building Inspector for the City of West Palm Beach. This case is CE 220-80147. The address is 200 Avila Road. The violation I observed was a new paver driveway. I don't know if the pictures are up yet. Being constructed. Some concrete columns with electric for a new gate that was being put in. I issued the violation and posted a stop work order on the job at 8/8/22. The notice of violation was mailed by regular mail at 6/14/2024, so it's been a while. The mail was certified mail, sent by certified mail on 6/14/2024. It was posted at City Hall at the same date, 6/14/2024, and at the property on the same date, 6/14/2024. And it was delivered, certified mail, 6/22/2024. As you can see by the pictures, that they do depict what I observed that day, and that is what I'm alleging. So permits and inspections are required for this kind of work. Permits have been issued on some part of it, of the work, but no inspections have been called. So they do have some permits that were issued because there's about 3 different permits for this work.
Excuse me, officer, can you speak a little bit
I'm
louder
sorry.
for the record?
I'm going
Thank
away.
you.
Did everybody hear that?
Now we can, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's better, thank you.
So inspections have not been done on any of the work yet. I did have contact with the owner, and he said that he would be calling in inspections. It was last Thursday I had contact with him, and no inspections were called in. So at this point, I think we could give him 30 days to resolve the issue. After that, I would say $50 per day to comply.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time? How much time did you want to give them?
$50 per day.
How much time do
Oh,
you...
time, 30 days, I'm sorry. I apologize.
And can you just tell me the things on the property that you observed that require a permit?
The driveway requires a permit. The concrete columns require a permit. Everything requires inspections. There was electric for the new gate, which also requires a permit. So 4 things require permits.
Thank you. And do you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time to get the
Well-
permits for those 4
Well,
items?
he has permits, I think, for 3 of them,
Okay.
and he's let one kind of just,
And which one are we referring to that he needs the permit for
I
the
I
record?
think it's for the gate.
We think, or are we
Well-
certain that it's for the gate?
It is for the gate.
Okay. And can we go back to the photographs, please? And did you observe the violations yourself?
Yes, I did. I took
And
the
did you
pictures.
take the photographs?
I did take the photographs
The
myself.
photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations we're discussing this morning?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. And the owner, I think your testimony is that you spoke with the
Yes,
property owner, correct?
did.
And is he in agreement with 30 days as being reasonable time?
he was in agreement that day for calling in the inspections to get it resolved, and he never did.
Okay.
So I reached this conclusion.
And in your are you the owner, property?
Yeah, I have a Mr. Andres that signed in for this item.
Come on up. Sir, can you state your name for the record, please?
Andre Paradella. I'm here and representing the owner. He's not in town. He doesn't live on property full-time. I spoke to you on
Excuse
Thursday.
me,
Was
sir?
that you? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, my bad, I'm sorry.
Were you sworn in, sir?
Yes, I was. So,
And in what capacity are you representative? Are you an attorney or property?
no, I worked on the plans for the property, and I managed the process of the
Permitting.
permitting. But this is, some of the violations that you had posted that were sent before, I think were taken care of. I've got permits, for the work that we need to have inspected, and one of them is, the installation of the gates. That's permit number 220-81171. The columns are also on that same permit, or no, I'm sorry, on 70, so 220-81170. 30 minutes, I think, is
30 days.
sufficient.
30 days.
I think it's sufficient. More time would be great, but we just need to get these inspections taken care of and put this behind us.
So you understand what needs to be done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you believe you can get that done within 30 days?
If you could give me more time, that would be great. If 30 days is the limit, then we'll do what we can.
I just need to understand that you can get this done in 30 days.
I can.
Okay. All right, in CE 22080-147, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I found the property in violation of the listed code section, specifically failure to obtain appropriate building permits. Responded as 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $50 per day may issue. Good luck. Make sure you stay in contact with the code officer, okay?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda case number CEB LD 240405558, address 329 Clematis Street.
Is that number 4?
That would be agenda number 4.
Just a reminder, if you hear your case called, go ahead and proceed directly to the podium on my right-hand side, which, right there. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning. Peter Valenti with the City of West Palm Beach Building Department, Construction Inspection Coordinator, and this is for case number CEBLD 24040558. The address 329 Clematis Street. So the violation I observed was in violation of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, failure to secure a building permit, and Florida Building Code, Building, Section 109.4, work commencing before the permit was issued, as there was a prior permit that was applied for. I issued a violation and posted the stop work order on the job April 11th, 2024. The notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and regular mail on June 11th, 2024, was posted at City Hall June 10th, 2024, and was posted on the property June 10th, 2024. Certified mail was delivered June 13th, 2024, and my observations for what I'm alleging is that there was new construction of a rear patio deck, also an awning overhead that was supported by wood framing members, and there was some electric work being done as well. There is a well, again, talking about the permit that was applied for back in 2023 for the patio deck that never progressed in plan review, so it was never issued. There have been some permits applied for since. One of them was for a demo of the awning above that's within the city, and there's also a demo for the electric work. However, the patio decking, it appears that the applicant wants to continue with that older permit. He's going to have that updated and provide the required information on that to move forward. And that's where that's standing. So no inspections have been performed. None of the permits have been approved. And I have had contact with the contractor, Mr. Fernando Rocha, who's here with us. So Mr. Rocha did schedule an appointment to come into the city and sit down and talk about clearing all this up. And it was a positive meeting, and he had plenty of questions. And I think we're to an agreement on how to move forward.
And what is that agreement?
The agreement is to get the permits done and move forward.
Well, how much time are we talking about regarding getting the permits done, and what is the ramification if we don't get the permits done?
So considering there was an existing permit application and there's 2 new permits that have been applied for, I believe we can do this in 60 days, and if not, $100 a day fee.
And do you believe the 60 days is a reasonable amount of time to get the, all that's been outlined here as remedies?
Considering the applications are in, I do believe so.
And is it, just give me a
Can I-
second, sir.
Yeah, can I ask, like, just in case?
Can you give me a
do-
second, please? Thank you.
sure.
Okay. So as it pertains to the permit's been applied for, so it's on the city's end at this point in time, correct?
We do have application numbers for it.
Oh, okay, and so do you know how long it takes the city to process these permit applications?
Yeah, that's a good question. That does vary, and the one thing on top of it the one concerning item of the process would be the existing permit for the deck that is going to have to be re-updated, reapplied for basically. So it may require a little bit more time on that one, come to think of that, yes.
Okay, so do we want to adjust the time that we're recommending to the special magistrate?
I don't have a problem with that. Maybe we can go 90 days.
Okay. And the photographs that we're looking at today, did you take those photographs, sir?
Yes. Yes, I did.
And do they truthfully and accurately depict the violations that are being discussed that's needing a permit at this time?
Yes, I believe there's another photo in there showing the awning as well.
Okay, if we can go to that whenever.
There it is, the roof structure. Yep.
Okay. And so the 2 violations that's posted on the notice of violation, they're still at the end of the day outstanding to be complied with?
Correct.
Nothing further at this time from the city Special magistrate.
Yeah, good morning, Magistrate. We did also,
Can you start with your name?
yes, sir, I'm sorry. Sir Fernando Rocha. I'm representing the owner, I'm the contractor. We did that update and the last pending application that was up for the building part, so we already did. We did apply for the 2 demos as we discussed with Mr. Peter. So now we are like already with the deck permit. It's updated and going in the city.
The city wants to give you 90 days to complete
Okay.
the permitting. Is that a sufficient
Yeah,
amount of
that's
time?
fine. Yeah, I agree with you. Yes, sir.
All right, and CEB LD 24040558, I make the following findings of law and fact. The property owner is in violation of FBC 105.1. Respondent has 90 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue. Good luck. Make
Thank
sure you
you.
stay in touch with the code officer.
Thank you.
Agenda number CEBLD 240105110, address 1341 10th Street.
What's the number on,
Agenda number 5.
thank you.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Good morning. My name is Raymond Stevenson. Work for the City of West Palm Beach. Cold case number is CEB LD 2401-0510. The address where violation occurred, 1341 10th Street. The violation I observed is a rear addition was added without a permit, Florida Building Code 105.1, and requires inspections per Florida Building Code 110.3. It was issued violation and posted. The stop work order was on the 1st of the 26th, 24. The notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and regular mail on the 6th of the 13th, 24. Was posted at the City Hall on the 16th, 14th, 24. Was posted on the property on the 6th, 13th, 24. The certified mail was delivered the 6th of the 15th, 24. The observations I see was a addition on the rear of the house, on the side rear of the house, as seen on the photos. After I was told by the office that there was a violation going on there, that the house, the addition it appears to be 100% complete. When this was completed, I do not know. The pictures shown truthfully and accurately alleged violations reflect what I am testifying to. The permits and inspections are required for the work I observed and for what is displayed in the pictures shown. Permits have not been applied for. Permits have not been issued. Inspections have not been performed. Included in my file is a copy of the notice violation and the affidavit of posting. I have had contractor with the owner very little, as maybe there's a little bit communication barrier because of the Hispanic language, but I've vaguely had a little bit of contact with her. The city recommends 90 days to comply, with a $50 per day after that. The time to bring the alleged violations into compliance is a reasonable amount of time, I believe. I am submitting as evidence of a copy of the case filing, including all documents relied on. That's it.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you?
Thanks.
Just to be clear on the record, you're recommending 90 days to be in compliance? So am I hearing permits were applied
No,
for?
permits were never applied for.
Permits were never applied for. Do you believe 90 days is a reasonable time to apply for the permits and for the city to issue permits?
Well, the first stop would be the engineer, so it may take longer. It may, but I believe 90 days, I'm pretty confident you could. If you got professionals in, engineers drawn, and got it submitted within 2 weeks, you would get a permit within 90 days.
Okay. So your testimony is, it's a reasonable amount of time?
I believe so.
Okay, and did you take the photographs we're looking at this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you observe the violations we're discussing this morning?
Yes,
And the photographs accurately depict accurately and truthfully depict the violations being
Yes.
discussed?
yes.
And you were able to, there are representative and/or property owners here. Were you able to effectively, I think I heard from your testimony, there is some communication language barrier. Were you able to effectively communicate to the properly owner what the violations are?
Maybe not. I wouldn't have thought so. I don't think I communicated properly easy with the homeowner.
To your understanding, do you believe the property owner understands what the violations are?
I don't think she does.
You don't think she does? Okay. All right. Nothing further at this time, Your Special Magistrate?
Can you, ladies, tell me your names, please?
Good morning, my name is Eileen Perez.
And who do you have with you?
Yanelis Rodriguez.
And what is your relation to the owner of the property?
I am the owner.
Do you understand what the city is asking of you?
¿Tú sabes lo que te está pidiendo la ciudad? Sí, dile no.
No.
Does she speak English or only?
A little bit.
A little bit. The city is saying that there's a rear building on your property that was not permitted.
Que la parte de atrás no estaba permitida.
Okay.
They're asking for me to give you 90 days to get a permit on that building.
Que 90 días para poder, ¿qué es lo que tú quieres hacer?
I will destroy it. It's just a roof, that's it.
She's saying, first of all, what she told me is that these pictures, sir, did you take these pictures yourself?
No, the only pictures I have taken is
Because
is from the street side of the rear addition.
so you
That's the only
couldn't see
pho-
what's in the back?
No, ma'am.
No, so he did not take those pictures, he couldn't see what's in the
Yeah,
back.
I don't have those,
Besides-
I didn't take those photographs on the interior of your house.
Okay. Besides that, her ex-boyfriend is the one that sent him those pictures because her ex-boyfriend who built whatever is in the back, ex-boyfriend has not been there since November. They're no longer together and they're at a custody battle. So to harm her, which is something that he tried to build in the back, it's just an outside kitchen, he did this to her. She's works in a nursing. She has no money to be hiring a professional. However, she's willing to do what it takes to tear down whatever is there to tear down. She has no money to be hiring a professional. She's just trying to live there with her 2 kids, and her ex-boyfriend is trying to harm her this way, which is really sad.
She'd probably need
She
a
doesn't care
demolition
about the
permit at this
house.
point, right?
Yeah, I believe so. That would be the,
I'm sorry, what was the
that would
question?
be the way out. Oh, sorry. That would be the way out.
She'll destroy it.
She'll
She'll tear it
do the-
down. It's just a counter. and-
Again, as he just mentioned, you would have to get a demolition permit.
Okay, well, that's easy, and I can probably help her, but she works 8 to 5 with a 8-year-old and a 16-year-old.
How much time do you need?
So to get a demolition, coger un permiso de demolición para poder tirar eso. So we can try it for the 60 days, just give us a little bit of time, because I work too.
90 days would be
I'm-
better.
I'm
I
gonna-
think.
90
gonna
days
give
will be
you-
better,
I'm gonna give you 90 days.
and it will be for a demolition permit.
Correct.
She doesn't care about that stuff,
Okay.
but she's in a food that is not fair to her because she has no way of doing this.
I do appreciate that her circumstances are difficult nonetheless, and the city has to still enforce
No,
their code.
absolutely,
Right.
understood.
All right, in case CEBLD 24010510, I make the following findings of fact in life. I notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of the listed code section, specifically addition to the property without a permit. I give the respondent 90 days to bring the property into compliance, either by getting a permit or by removing it properly through the code sections. In the absence of compliance, a fine of up to $50 per day may issue. So you have 90 days. It's very important that you stay in contact with the code officer and let them know what you're doing, okay?
Ok, 90 días tiene que dejar saber con el terminado, hay que sacar ese permiso.
Okay.
Ok, thank you. Vámonos.
Agenda number 6, case number CEBLD 24030-547, address 947 39th Court.
Hello. Hello once again. My name is Raymond Stevenson, work for the city of West Palm Beach. The code case number is CEBLD 240300547. The address where violation occurred, 947 39th Street, 947 39th Court. The violation I observed is the rear of the building has what I believe is 4 separate sleeping and living accommodations without permits. Florida Building Code 1051. I issued a violation and posted the stop work order on the job on the 3rd of the 21st, 24. The notice of violation was mailed via certified mail and regular mail on the 6th of the 14th, 24, and was posted on the City Hall on the 6th of the 14th, 24. And this was posted on the property the 6th of the 13th, 24. The certified mail was delivered on the 6th of the 14th, 24. In the observation of the violation is 4 separate sleeping accommodations without a permit. Florida Building Code 1051 and 110.3 requires inspections. The pictures shown truthfully and accurately despite the alleged violations reflect what I am testing to. Permits and inspections are required for the work I observed and what is displayed in the pictures shown. Permits have not been applied for, permits have not been issued, inspections have not been performed. Included in my file is a copy of the notice of violation and the affidavit of posting. I have not had any contact with the owner. The result of the contacts are I've had no contact. The city recommends 90 days to comply and $150 per day after that. The time to bring the alleged violations to compliance is a reasonable amount of time. I am submitting evidence of a copy of this case file, including all documents relied upon.
Were you able to make contact with the property owner?
I've no.
Okay. And do
When I'm saying never, they did do maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago, they did have a permit for addition on the back of the house, which was just a shed, just for utilities, and that was inspected and passed. But after then, it was made into the habitable living accommodation space after that. So I did talk to them briefly as in I met him to do the inspection.
So you have not had any contact with the property owner? I see a hand being raised.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Code Officer Kay Weaver. This case originated from me previously having this case. I received a request for an inspection for the property. The application had the main property. I went out to do the inspection. Upon me going there, he said, no, not the main house, and he took me in the back where the units, where his pictures are. The 4 different units were back there. I knew at that time that it wasn't permitted. So what I did, because I was gonna have to come back out because we couldn't even get into all of the units, then I contacted building and said, hey, I have an issue here. So then when I did go back out, Mr. Ray went out with me, and then that's where we got and we saw, and so I have had contact. I spoke with the owner as of last week. He was here, so I was assuming that he was getting done what needs to be done, but he just seems to keep skirting around the issue, because I still have an open case that's running fines for this same property as well.
And what's your case, rental?
The case that I had, he complied some stuff, but he has this fence, and he still doesn't have the fence permit. He keeps saying he does that, he doesn't.
So is this it's not a rental property issue?
The main house is not.
Okay.
Everything else in the back, yes, he has tenants in it as well.
Okay.
So there are tenants, they are actively there. Upon going for the inspection, there were tenants there that stepped out and let us go into the units. We couldn't get in one unit, so that gave us the opportunity to be able to come back, and that's when I reached out to building.
So what specifically is on the property that requires a permit that does not have it?
In the back, he enclosed a garage. So on the side where the garage is, he has 3 almost like little, suites. So that's 3 different units there. On the opposite side, it was originally a shed.
And then, which is just on the garage, none of those units, the alterations were not permitted?
No, nothing was permitted, and we've gone inside, they have everything, in their little, almost like kitchen, almost like a suite on that side. The other side was originally a shed that he has added onto, so that side has 2-bedroom units.
And that is not permitted either?
No, nothing was permitted.
Do they have a rental license?
No, he was trying to get a
Rental license,
but
that's what I
even for
thought,
trying to
okay.
get the rental license, it wasn't for back there, it was for the
main
addresses
hou-
for the main house. But when I came, he said, no, not the house, and he took me in the back to these units. And so that, it drew a red flag, but, I proceeded to try and do the inspection. I couldn't get into every unit because one had a dog that the owner tenant wasn't there, so we had to reschedule. So I knew then, let me reach out to building, let me get someone to go out with building, with that expertise, and then we went out and we discovered that, no, you have no permits, these are illegal. And even with doing that, he's also tried to give us gifts that we did turn down, but it just seems to be a never-ending cycle with him. He does not want to comply, he wants to seem that if he brushes our hand, that we'll look over it, and unfortunately, we cannot do that.
Okay, thank you so much, I appreciate it. Nothing further from the city at this time, Special
So
Magistrate.
the city's recommending 90 days to come into compliance by obtaining the appropriate permits?
Yeah,
And you believe that's a sufficient amount of time to do that?
I believe so.
All right, in case CEB LD 2403057, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of FPC 110.3 and FPC 105.1, specifically failure to obtain permits and inspections. Respondent is given 90 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $150 per day may issue.
Agenda number 1, case number CE 24041835, address 3308 Lake Avenue.
Good morning. Ms. Rose needs to be sworn in.
Morning.
Ms. Rose needs to be sworn in.
Oh, she needs to be sworn in, Special Magistrate, thank you.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury and the laws of the state of Florida?
Good morning. Jay Francis, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance. While patrolling, the following violations were observed on the property 3308 Lake Avenue. Excessive growth, fence repair, unpaved parking, outdoor storage. The property was cited on 4/16/24. Certified mail and regular mail was sent on 4/17/24. Both the property and City Hall were posted on 6/5/24. The certified mail was signed for on 4/19/24. An affidavit of posting was completed and placed in the file. I have been in contact with the property owner who's here today, Ms. Rose. As of this morning, the excessive growth and unpaved parking violation is complied. The fence repair and outdoor storage violations are still pending. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 90 days for the property to come in compliance. If they do not come into compliance, then the city is asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. And did you take the photographs?
Yes,
at this
ma'am.
time?
Yes, both the initial inspection photographs and the pre-hearing inspection photographs.
And all four, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 listed, have they been, all are non-compliant?
Excessive growth is complied.
Okay.
And the unpaved parking, so 94-482A is complied, and 74-4-C3 is complied.
And I'm sorry, what was the amount of time and the amount of money?
90 days,
90, and
Yes.
how much money for a fine?
$100 a day after the 90 days.
And the pictures that we're looking at, you personally took those?
Yes, those are the re-inspection pictures this morning.
And they accurately and truthfully depict the violations
Yes.
being alleged?
Yes.
And is this the property owner? You've
Yes,
been
this
in
is Ms. Rose's
communication
property
with?
owner. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
My name is Rosmeta Joseph.
What do you want to tell me about your property?
All the validation has been taken care of, and beside of the one that's still pending, the 90 days that will work for me to taking care of the best.
Yeah, the city's alleging that you have to do the fence wall maintenance, and you have to do and you have to remove the outside storage.
Yes, I will.
The city suggested I give you 90 days to do that. Is that a sufficient amount of time?
Yes, that will work.
In case CE 24041835, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 94302A4, the fence or wall maintenance, and the 9471C, which is the outdoor storage on the front of the property. Respondent has 90 days to bring the property into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue. Good luck, and please stay in touch with the code officer.
Thank you very much.
Agenda number 12, case number CE 24041916, address 531 25th Street.
Good morning. Jesus Mendiola, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. I received a complaint about the property at 531 25th Street. I inspected the property on April 25th, 2024. The original complaint was for a structure in the back for one of the tenants on the property, which had artificial grass and a temporary fence around it. While investigating the complaint, I discovered other violations as well as tinted windows in front of the unit, broken windows, trash and debris, alleyway maintenance, dumpster enclosure, the dumpster not being kept in enclosure, and the dumpster being kept overfilled and open, and illegal use of land as a structure in the back, another structure in the back that was built without a permit, and relocation of of already a fence that was existing, wooden fence and a chain link fence. The property was cited on April 29, 2024. Regular and certified mail was sent on 4/30/2024. It was returned. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on 5/13/2024. I completed the affidavit of posting. The photographs taken accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I did have contact with the property owner, Mr. George, and two of the tenants for the property. As of yesterday, the property is still in violation of 105.1, which is obtained permits / work without permits. 18106A, the clean and sanitary. 94-315-A, which is a dumpster not enclosed. 94-6, which is cease illegal use of land. 94-302-A-3, which is the fence permits. The city is asking for 180 days, 6 months, to gain compliance, or $300 until compliance is achieved. Now, in my case, you will see pictures that I took and also pictures that were taken from Google between 2017 and 2020, where it shows that the wooden fence was relocated. They do have a permit which was applied in 2005, which is included in my pictures away, the survey. And when they first installed the fences, it was up to a certain size, up to 25 feet, but then it was extended years later. And as well as that structure right there, the one with the chain link fence, that did not exist. I have a photo from a sanitation case from 2008 where a picture was taken from the rear, and you can see that the structure in the back did not exist there yet. And as far in our systems, there's no permits regarding the relocation or the addition of the structure.
Morning. I didn't get the amount that's being recommended if the compliance on
180 days, which is 6 months, and $300 and
300, 200?
300, 300.
And were you able to make contact with the property owner? I see someone's here, either the owner or the representative.
Mr. George, the owner, and also two of the tenants. One for the Legacy, which is 529, and the Albritton, 525.
And is the owner, to your understanding, agreeable to your recommendation?
To some of the violations, we did speak with one of the building officials on Monday, and came to determination what had to be done in order to resolve the violations.
And you took the current photographs personally?
Correct.
And they truthfully and accurately depict what the violations are at this time?
Correct.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
Officer, just walk me through real quick. 94-6, what specifically is the violation?
94-6 is, that's in case they weren't able to obtain a permit, so that would require them to remove the structure that was built in the back. And also that included
That's a reference to the structure in the rear that's housing the garbage area, I guess, is that it?
Yeah, when they first applied for the permit, it was supposed to be a dumpster enclosure, and then a chain link fence was added on to extend that, and then a structure with a metal awning was added onto it as well.
All right.
And then that also referred to the original complaint, which was the temporary fence and the artificial grass, which is on the parking lot, which has been removed, but they're still trying to apply for a permit for it.
All right, the 18105E, are you not pursuing that one anymore?
No.
Okay. The 94302A3, is that chain link fence?
It's for the wooden fence and the chain link fence. So the wooden fence was originally, when they first had the permit, it was before the property
But the
line.
current configuration with the chain link now needs to be permitted.
Yes.
Okay. The 105.1, that's the structure in the rear?
That's the structure and the fences as well, which was work done without permit. Like I said, the fences was added on without a permit, and the fence was relocated without a permit.
94-315A,
Which is a dumpster, which is not being enclosed, which was still in the right of way, as of yesterday when I inspected the property.
And 18106A, I guess, is that's the trash around the area?
The trash has been picked up. What's still present is still needs to be pressure washed, the front of the building and the sidewalk, as you can see in the pictures. But as more recent pictures as of yesterday, you can also see it as well. But
Sir,
that's
can you
the-
tell me your name?
My name is George Caesar, property owner, 531 25th Street, actually 517 to 535 25th Street. So,
Caesar, do you understand the allegations that the city has raised about your property?
I don't. Unfortunately, I can't hear or understand a word Jesus is saying from where I'm standing. I would like to say that I received these notices. I addressed all the issues with my two tenants that were the culprits for the notices. They both assured me in writing for weeks and weekly follow-ups that they were rectified. I flew in from out of town. I live in New Jersey, and I personally, with my crew, took care of every single item on here, except the fence, which the city's allegation is that the fence permit that I personally pulled in 2005, someone mysteriously moved the fence a few feet in either direction. I can tell you that I have owned this property since 2004. It is a constant battle on a daily basis to keep it clean, to keep the element out. Everything that the tenants do is not because they're trying to get over on anybody, it's because of crime. And the enclosed structure that has the roof on it is because of break-ins and homeless people and prostitution that goes on in and behind the fences. That is a storage area for the tenants that have to try and keep things chained up and locked up because it's a tough area. So what I'd like to say here is I went and met Richard Gattwright, who's the assistant building official. Jesse was there, and the way we left it is that he believes the fence was moved. My argument is that the original fence permit was done on a survey, and it was not quote-unquote drawn to scale back in '05. It was just sketched. Fence is going here. Richard and Jess are trying to allege that the drawing was drawn to scale, which it wasn't. Back then it was like, just let me know where the inspectors are going to come and look for the fence, approximately. So they provided me Google Earth photo telemetry showing that the fence may or may not have a car parked behind it or not. I'm not here to argue that point. I told that to Richard. I don't want to argue. You want me to pull a permit? I'll pull a permit. But permits have to go through, for commercial, through code and through fire. So the permit process, which I'm very familiar with because I was a licensed contractor in 4 different fields in Florida for a long time, it takes a long time. And with all the buildings going on, it takes a long time. So what I want to get down to is, are all the code violations abated except for the fence discrepancy, which I am in the process of pulling a permit for the fences to be quote-unquote relocated that have been there for at least 10 years per your photos, or let's call it 8 years. So I don't have a problem pulling a permit, but I can't be on the chopping block for a per day fine for something I'm not in control of. So if the permit is issued, I have no problem completing the fence job within 90 days, which is already done. But I'm at the mercy of the city,
I know you,
zoning,
sir,
and fire.
Just to cut to the chase here, the city recommended that they
I'm
give.
sorry, can you talk a little louder? Thank you.
Yeah, the city offered 180 days for you to bring the property.
Not enough time.
6 months is not enough time to get a fence permit.
It's not. Richard Cartwright said I would ask for 9 months, and I agree.
Hold on a second.
He said between 6 to 9 months. Also, as far as the survey, where he said that it's not drawn to scale, we're not referring to the drawing. We're referring to the.
You have to, I mean, I'm having trouble understanding you too, so you have to talk a little slower. Yeah.
As far as the amount, we said between 6 and 9 months. I told him he's able to request more time if he wants to at the hearing, which is clearly what he's doing. And as per the survey, as he was saying that we're referring to the drawn, the survey has the feet of the property between property
Okay,
lines.
I don't want to get into an
Right,
argument
I
about that.
mean, yeah.
I'm going to require that the permit be pulled, but, so the respondent is telling me that the only thing that they have left on the property is the fence, but that's not the city's position.
No, well, the fence, both fences, the chain link fence and the wooden fence. Like I said, one of the dumpsters wasn't kept in the enclosure as of yesterday. If it's been
All right,
complied, then-
let's go these one at a time, because I know he's having trouble understanding. So the city is also arguing that it's not one fence, it's two fences. There's a chain link fence and there's a wooden fence.
Correct. I'm aware of the two fences. We walked through it together.
Okay, so the city is alleging that you need permits for both fences?
Correct.
Do you understand that?
I fully understand that.
Okay. They're also arguing that you have a dumpster that's not screened.
So he had two dumpsters there, originally when we pulled the permit.
Can you just talk into the microphone a little closer? Because I'm not hearing you. I don't know if it's the echo or what, but.
He has a dumpster. If you can go to my pictures taken yesterday, so you can physically see it. It would be from.
Do you want to look at the picture, sir?
That's from June 13. It would be.
So you're saying that the dumpster for Legacy Lounge, which is a 4-yard dumpster, is not in the enclosure?
Behind 525, you have two dumpsters there. One is in the enclosure. There were previously two dumpsters outside the enclosure, so now you just have.
So
Well,
there's
there-
3 dumpsters on the property. I've discussed this with the city of West Palm Beach Trash Department. One is a 4-yard dumpster, which is Legacy Lounge's dumpster, which is labeled as 531 25th Street. They have 3 addresses, but the trash department has it labeled at 531. That dumpster goes in the fenced-in enclosure from the permit that was pulled in 2005. It is in a black chain link enclosure with a rolling gate. The other 2 dumpsters are 2-yard dumpsters. One is for the Jamaican restaurant at 517 25th Street, and the second one is for 523 25th Street, which is Souvlaki Grill. They have never been in any enclosures. The only reason why Legacy's Lounge's dumpster was not in its proper enclosure and hasn't been kept there is because FPU missiled underneath the slab to get a new gas line to the facility. And in so doing, they cut a big hole in the slab where the dumpster rolls into. They patched it with asphalt and left it 2 inches lower so that when you roll in the dumpster that has 2 fixed wheels and 2 full swivel wheels, you can't get it in there with one person. You can't get it in there with 4 people. I put it in there with a team of guys to appease Jess so that he can see it in there. I have photos of the dumpster in the enclosure. Now, we can't enforce what the trash people do. I have a trash consultant from Republic that was with me, and he said, look, when they pick up the bucket, wherever they put it, and they rarely put it back in the enclosure where it goes. So I'm not really sure what enclosure you want for what dumpster, but I'd like to clarify it here and now so they're on the same page.
Yeah, once she pulls up the picture, I'll show you. You can keep going. So see there, that's the other dumpster that's sitting in front of the parking
You
lot.
saw that today?
Okay. That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Yes.
And does that say 2-yard?
You
Yard on it? It's a 2-yard dumpster. So that's Souvlaki Grill's dumpster. So what the tenant who's been there for more than 20 years told me, and the guy with the blue door, is that his dumpster is kept next to his grease trap, which is a black thing at the front of that Saturn next to the outdoor sink. That's where the dumpster is kept. When the trash department comes, they pick up the dumpster, they empty it, and they leave it in the center of the alley. He said 2 days a week when he pulls down the alleyway, he has to stop, get out of his car, and physically roll the dumpster back where it belongs. So I've been in communications with the city requesting them to make sure it's put back where it's picked up from. But I can't police it being in New Jersey, and I hired someone to put a camera system outside so that I can keep an eye on this whole back saga. So when I have that up and running, then I can address it, I guess, on a daily basis. But we can't force the city of West Palm Beach to put the dumpsters back where they belong. And they're gonna do anything they can to cut corners, to not close the gates, to not lock the gates. We have a
Wait, stay on
mutual
that
lock.
picture.
There's, you know,
Go back. So that's where it's supposed to go? Is that the same dumpster, or that's a different dumpster?
That's a different dumpster.
Jess, where would you like that dumpster?
As long as it's not in the right of way, like I said in the parking lot.
I can't hear you.
As long as it's not in the right of way, that's a parking lot, so that's where cars park. And like you said, if it's trash day, your tenant is the one responsible to move it back. They can't leave it there on, every single day.
When did you take that picture? What time?
It shows it,
Is the, may I inquire, is the dumpster mobile? It can be moved by an individual, like the tenant,
yeah,
is
it
what
has
you're
wheels.
saying? Yeah, if the dumpster is in the right of way and in the parking, garage, the city will cite that. And if it's mobile where it can be moved by a tenant, then that should be the remedy, rather than, again, you can make a complaint to the city as well as we can voice that. But if that's the case, we have to make sure the right of way is preserved, access.
That 2-yard dumpster, he took a picture of. I don't know what time that was at.
We're finding the time now.
So
It should be time-stamped.
The tenant usually comes in around 10 o'clock
about 10.
for his lunch and for his dinner. So if he wasn't there yet, he's not gonna wheel it back yet.
So the timestamp on that, sir, is Tuesday, 25th at 10:39, of course.
That's the dumpster, that's the 4-yard plastic dumpster in the enclosure. So that's not the dumpster in reference.
No, I was there at the same time, that's,
Same time?
the same, I took all
But
the
can we
pictures at
find
the
the
same time.
timestamp on the dumpster in question, please?
So let me understand this. I'm in a court hearing because the dumpster is 10 or 15 feet away from where it should be.
Well, not just yesterday, it's something that's been constant, that's why it was a violation.
Aren't
It
there
was
bigger
just-
fish to fry in the city than where a dumpster is? I mean, really? Are we gonna have this discussion? I mean,
All
I think
right,
I'll address it with
I'm done with the dumpster conversation. The structure in the back, what are we doing about that?
It was removed, sir.
There's two
By the
structures.
tenant.
There's the structure, if you go back to the pictures, I have it highlighted in red. It's the one with the fence, like I said, it has the metal awning, so you can go a little bit more down, please.
So the tenant at 525 would not remove the fencing and would not provide me with permits. So my lawyer, who I got involved with the city attorney
That picture.
and these tenants, told him he's got 5 days to remove it or I'm flying in to remove it. I flew in to remove it. His lawyer sent a letter to us saying, if you come anywhere near this property and touch the structure or come into the facility and remove the tint as per what we told him we were gonna do, you're gonna have a legal battle. So the tenant ended up complying, but I can only do what I can do. I can only ask tenants to do certain things. I can't be here 24 hours a day. I can't police it. I don't think it's reasonable. I think a lot of these allegations and problems you have are from the complainant, who you might want to check who that is and see how many complaints she's made in the past that lives directly behind the unit.
Okay.
She's not quite
I
happy
think I
with,
understand this about
with
as well as
what's
I'm
going
going to
on in the
understand it.
commercial property that's been around for over 120 years.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do in this case. In CE 24041916, I'm going to make a finding that notice is good and sufficient, and the property is in violation of the code sections listed, including 94.6, 94.302A3, and 105.1, referring to the fence and the structure, and I'll give the respondent 210 days.
How many days?
210 days, which is 4 months.
Okay, so
Hold on, I'm not done yet. To bring those into compliance. As to the dumpster screening, 94.3415A, and the clean and sanitary, 18.106A, which is the dirty pavers it looks like out there. I'll give the respondent 180 days to bring those into compliance. Failure to bring either of those into compliance, any of those sections of compliance, can subject the property to a fine of up to $250 per day. It's lots of time, lots of ways to get this fixed.
So I don't know what those, so what's outstanding as far as these violations? What's been abated?
I can't state because I got a whole bunch of cases, but we've gone over them about 4 times. I'm going to ask that you go meet with the code officer. I think, are you done at this point?
I got 2 more cases, but I
All right, he's
can,
got 2 more cases. If you want to hang out, he can come out into the corridor and walk you through it all again, okay?
I just want to be clear about what has been abated, because the trash happens on a daily basis. I clean up at 4 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, there's 30 more pieces of trash from
Yeah.
people walking by.
Yeah,
So
I think
if it's been abated, I'd like it to be on the record.
I think
it's
the
been
clean and
abated.
sanitary is a
Whatever has
reference
been
to
the
the-
clean and
abated, I have no
sanitary
problem
was for the
rectifying.
pavers in the front. You already picked up the trash that, shows in the pictures
Okay,
as well.
he's not
You picked up
citing
the
it for
It's
trash,
for
it's the dirty
the pavers
pavers.
in the front that have to be pressure washed.
But if you want to hang out, hang out. He's got 2 more cases. He'll come out here and walk you through it again, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Agenda number CE 2405-1988, address 2451 Division Avenue.
What number?
Agenda 15.
Thank you. Can we call the numbers first, please, so that we're directed to where we are? Thank you.
Hey, good morning. My name is Donald Lattimore. I'm currently employed with the City of West Palm as a code enforcement officer. While on patrol, I saw a business operating without a business tax receipt. I initiated my investigation on 5/16/24 at the property located at 2451 Division Avenue. This property is occupied. There I observed the following violations: 22-32-A, no certificate of use; 82-144, no business tax receipt. The city issued a NOV to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The NOV was noticed by certified mail on 5/16/24, as well as regular mail on 5/16/24 by the city's clerk. I posted the NOV to the property on 5/17/24 and City Hall on 5/17/24. I completed an affidavit of posting on 5/17/24, and it is in the case file. As of 6/25/24, the property is not in compliance with the following code section, the 22-32A and 82-144. I gathered the advertisement photos from Google Maps at the initial investigation. I took additional photos in person while posting the NOV at the property. The following documentation shows the violation still exists at the property. These photographs and documents accurately and truthfully depict the violations that I observed during my investigation. The property owner, I have made contact with the property owner on 6/14/24 via email. I'm not sure if this is the property owner who's here today or a representative. Either way, the city is asking for 45 days to comply. If no compliance, a daily fine of $200 per day.
Thank you. And you did make contact with the property owner, correct?
Yes, through email, correct.
Okay, great.
Did you say 30 days?
45 days.
45 days, 4 or 5.
Nothing further from the city at this point.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
My name is Yorma Olson. I'm the owner of the property, and those are my tenants in there. And they did file for the occupational license and the permits that Donald requested, but for some reason, it was blocked by the zoning. They have to go back and get a clearance from zoning. Donald was not able to help us on that. So, being summertime, and I'm trying to go out of the country, and Stanley Cup was won by a Finnish captain, so we're all going to celebrate over there. And my counsel is then gone in August, and I don't really know how much help my tenant needs. I mean, they're Spanish, so they're not really familiar with the procedure. So I'm just asking for, if it's okay with you, I'm asking for 120 days to clear it out.
So there is a language barrier, and they are coming in person to get everything taken care of. I looked into the issue this morning, and it appears that the problem with zoning is the lack of description as far as what exactly is going to take place at the business on property. The business is being listed as storage, but it appears that it's also a storage / places where they're working on vehicles / selling vehicles. So we just need to get a better understanding of exactly what's going to take place at the property. 180 days is very generous. I think everything can be completed within 60 days, but if it's okay with the special magistrate, 180 days won't hurt because they are trying to bring all of the violation up to compliance. They will need inspection by fire as well as the code enforcement officer, which will be myself. But I personally think you can get everything done in 60 days. 180 days is very generous.
Why don't we say 90 days? That seems a reasonable amount of time to get it done.
Could you do 120 just in case, because the council's on vacation and everybody's on vacation,
All right.
July and August? I would really appreciate it. And yes, it will be just purely a storage, and they have completely cleaned it up, and it looks great, so if you get a chance to drive by.
All right, CE 2405198A, to make the following findings of fact and law, I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of listed code section, specifically no certificate of use or business tax receipt. Respondent has 120 days to bring the property into compliance, or a fine of up to $200 per day may issue. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Agenda number 22, case number CE 24041838, case number 5207 Manley Avenue.
City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited on April 19th. Certified mail was sent April 19th. Certified mail was delivered on May the 1st. City Hall was posted April the 3rd. While on patrol, I noticed that there was tree abuse and hat racking and a small amount of unpaved parking at the address of 5207 Manning Avenue. As of yesterday, I observed that the unpaved parking wasn't there, but it wasn't what I cited for. I saw that after the fact. The hat racking and the tree abuse was still there, but yet there were small amounts of growth that were started to grow. On the parts of the tree that was hat racked, I took all the images, and they accurately depict what I saw when I was there. I've had contact with the homeowner in reference to the address next door to the garbage can, but not necessarily for 5207. So at this time, the city is requesting a one-time fine of $250 for the hat racking and the improper pruning of the trees. And that's it, the one-time fine of $250.
I'm sorry, how
Sir.
many days?
No, there is no days,
Oh,
it's
okay,
just the
just the
one-time fine.
$250, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I believe the city is asserting that this is irreparable in nature.
Yeah, it probably won't grow back as much as it was before with the hat racking. It has started to blossom back a little bit, but they're a little.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Otto Herrera.
So the city is claiming that you improperly pruned your tree.
And what address are we talking about? What's the address?
This is for, he has both. There's two for this. It's 5207 Manning, and the next case would probably be would be 704 52nd Street would be the next one. He has two.
Can you show the picture of the tree, please?
Okay. We're only talking in this case about 5207, right?
Yeah, he owns both. They're both were cited for the same thing, except for the one at 704 also had garbage can placement.
Did you want to do them both at the same
Yeah, you
time?
could do both at the same time.
Agenda number 23, case number CE 24041840, address is 704 52nd Street.
All right, so let's see the first tree. All right, just freeze it there. So that's at 5207?
Yes.
Is that your tree?
It is, but it's not on 5207.
Okay, where is that?
704 52nd.
Well, she can go to the other images, it'll show her right behind it.
It's in the back of the backyard, 704 52nd.
It's, 704 52nd Street, but there are images in that one that show, on both.
Is the city seeking a $250 fine in each case?
On each tree, yes, sir. There's two trees.
All right, so we saw the one at 704, so we just need to see the one at 5207.
Yeah, that is Manning. 5207 Manning. The other one is 704 52nd.
Is that 5207?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but that's the back. There's two trees in the back. One seems closer from street view to 5207, the other one, and the images of 704 52nd, you could directly see it's in the back corner.
Are these properties adjacent to each other?
Yes, they are.
That tree is not on 5207. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't have a big tree in the back on 5207.
All right, so that one we know, that's 704.
Yeah, see, that's the one on Manning right there. That's 5207 Manning, which I say I couldn't have access to the back. Looking at it from 704 and 5207, it seems to be in the rear of 5207 Manning. Like I say, I didn't have access. We didn't communicate in reference to me actually getting back there to see if it was, so I could make adjustments if it was or wasn't. But looking at it from there, it seems to be in the backyard of it. And when she goes to the images of 704 52nd Street, there are images showing where the trash can was that was in public view. You can also see the other tree directly in the corner that's
the
also
same
there.
tree.
No, there's.
The tree you're looking at is on the back of 704 52nd.
If you go to, yeah, if you go to 704, you'll see the other one. The other tree's in the far west corner. of the
And it's
property.
adjacent to 710 52nd. The tree is kind of goes in both yards, so 704 and 710 52nd. It's not on 5207.
No, just go to violation images.
Now, if he's talking about the palm, that palm is on 5207 Manning.
And keep going. See that tree? That's the bark of the tree that goes to the west. And if you keep, yep. And if you keep going down, you'll see. So you could tell there's two different trees. If you look at the picture, you see this one leans over to the west, and then there's no way possible that it could skip and replant to grow to the east. And you'll see that one goes to the west, and then there was one that goes to the
All right,
east.
sir, do you see the two trees?
Huh? Excuse me?
Have you seen the trees?
Yes, it's one tree, a big one. That's why I trimmed it, because it was hanging over the house. And hurricanes are coming. So, but it's just one tree. I don't know where he's getting, there's two trees there. Yes, it's part of it is on 710 52nd, and part is on 704 52nd. But on 5207, there's no big trees there.
Okay, see in this image right there? See to the right, or the driveway, to the right of it? That tree goes this way. Now, if you look towards the corner of the house, that's a totally separate tree. That's on the east side, to the corner of the house. And if you zoom in, you can see that the
That's
bark
the tree
of the
that's
tree.
going towards 710
Hold
52nd.
on. You can see that the bark goes up this way to the right, to the west. So there's no way that bark that's going to the west could also be the one that's to the east
right at the peak of the corner of the roof.
Wait, go back to that photo again.
Yeah, you see that one if she goes
All
up?
right, so we're talking about the tree that's on the right side, as I'm looking at it, which would be
Mhm.
the left side of the house, but the right side as I'm looking at it, and there's also that tree that's in the back, just behind the roof of the
Yes,
house?
sir.
So those are the two trees we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
How is that tree gonna reach way on the left side where the East Manning yard is?
Well, like I say, looking from Manning's side, when you look on Manning, it seems to be directly
But if
behind
you
it.
would've called me and asked me about it, I would've told you there was
I
one
don't-
tree on 70452nd.
I don't have
I didn't
your-
even know you rode 5207 Manning.
I don't have your number.
today.
And when you did email me, you emailed me about 704 52nd, and you requested images showing the trash can that was outside because you were in disbelief that there was a trash can
It's
that
in the
was in public
backyard.
view.
The trash can was in the backyard. Throw a picture of the
All
back
right,
of the trash can.
okay. I've heard enough. All right,
Your Honor, this guy is always targeting me, discriminating against me. I went around the yard, the neighborhood. I took like 12 pictures of garbage cans that you can see in the front yard, and they didn't get written up. And my garbage
Mr.
can is
Herrera,
in the- my
garbage.
garbage can is in the backyard.
Mr. Herrera, garbage trees are not in front of me. The question for me is whether or not there are trees that are hat racked on your property. I see two trees that are hat racked. Those are improperly pruned. Now, I understand that you are concerned about hurricanes, and that's important, and I recognize that. But it's also important that there are ways to trim trees in ways that make them hurricane safe, that don't damage the tree. And this is the classic, what I'm looking at here is the classic version of a hat rack, which is prohibited by the city code.
So let me ask you a question. Can I cut that tree all the way down?
I'm sorry?
What happens if I cut the tree all the way down?
I'm not gonna give you any legal advice on that. If you wanna check the city code on how to handle trees, you can take a look at 944462C3, which deals with tree abuse, and 944462B3, which deals with hat racking. But in case 22, which is CE 2404188, I'm gonna make the following findings of fact in the law. I find that notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of the two listed code sections, tree abuse and hat racking. And I issue a one-time fine for irreparable violations in the amount of $250. In case 23 CE 2404180, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of the same code sections, hat racking and tree abuse, and I issue a one-time fine in the amount of $250.
I don't really agree with that assessment.
The officer can explain it a little bit further. Thank you for coming in, sir.
Special Magistrate, may I interrupt for a little housekeeping matters?
Yes.
What's the address? 504 39th Street?
509 54th Street?
Okay, 509. 54th Street should be on the agenda. Okay, it was on the agenda, but we'll call it. I just want Mr. Garcia to know that, because he was here, the first one here, so
Okay.
he's wondering probably why he hasn't been called. Sure, we'll call the case in 15 minutes, just as a housekeeping matter. Thanks, it was on, yeah. Okay.
Special Magistrate, we were trying to discuss a resolution before, but the code enforcement officer wasn't here. Maybe at some point take a 5-minute break to discuss this issue and resolve it.
Well, you can, if you want to discuss it with the code enforcement officer.
You can do it now.
No, I trust Mr. Watkins, but if I'm needed, you guys let me know. But thank you, Special Magistrate.
Agenda number, I'm sorry. Agenda number 16, case number CE 24041815, case address 930 35th Street. Thank you.
Who's the code officer? Who's the code?
I think we need Officer Lattimore back.
My apologies, everyone. Good morning again. My name is Donald Lattimore. I am currently employed with the City of West Palm. I'm currently employed with the city of West Palm Beach as a code enforcement officer. While on patrol, I saw unpaved parking at the property located at 930 35th Street. I initiated my investigation on 4/12/24. This property is occupied. There, I observed the following violations. 105.1, a garage door that's needing a permit. 18106A, pressure wash / cleaning of the driveway. 22-32-A, no certificate of use. 22-441, no rental license. 94-482-A, unpaved parking. 74-34-A-1-H, trash container in public view. 78-6-2, address characters missing. 94-442-C-1, landscape maintenance. 94-442-E, seed and/or sod the parkway. The city issued a NOV to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The NOV was noticed by certified mail on 4/12/24 and regular mail on 4/12/24 by the city's clerk. And I posted the NOV on property on 4/15/24 and City Hall on 4/15/24. I completed the affidavit of posting on 4/15/24, and it is in the case file. I revisited the property on 6/17/24 and observed the property to not be in compliance with the following code sections. 105.1, garage door permit. 22-32-A, no certificate of use. 22-44-1, no rental license. However, the owner has passed the inspection for a rental license, and the owner has passed the inspection for a certificate of use. Both of them are only being held up by the city at this point to issue. So he has done all that he can do at that point. We're just waiting for them to be issued. Also, the owner has submitted and applied for a garage door permit as of 5/7/24. So all of the violations that are not in compliance, the owner has done all that he can do at this moment. It is now within the city's hands for the permits and the permit. I took the photographs at the initial investigation, and when I revisit the property, the following documentation shows the violation still exists on the property as of yesterday. I added it to the case file just to show that where we are in the process of obtaining the permits as well as the rental license and certificate of use. All right. These photographs and documentation accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is present, and I have been in contact with him multiple times. The city is asking for 45 days to comply. If no compliance, a daily fine of $200.
Thank you, great.
You're welcome.
You hesitate on the 45 days because it's in the city's hands. Is that a reasonable time, do you believe?
Why don't we make it 60?
Well, yeah, 60. I agree with 60 because of the
Okay.
permit process. Yeah, 60 days.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further. Special Magistrate.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
My name is Hui Huang.
So the city says you just need a certificate of use, a building permit for the garage, and a rental license, and that you've applied for all three. Is 60 days a sufficient amount of time for you to complete these processes?
If the officer say it's enough, I don't know how fast the permit can go through. So he says 6 days enough, I think enough.
Yeah. Any reason to believe that 60 days would not be a sufficient amount of time?
I believe the 60 days will be a reasonable amount of time. He just converted a garage to a door, and the door appears to be pretty sound. He just need a permit for that. And a rental license and a certificate of use, he's just waiting for it to be issued. He has already passed all of the steps needed for it.
Did they do the inspection?
I completed the inspection on the 17th, yes.
All right, yeah, so 60 days should be plenty. All right, in CE 24041815, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 2232A and 105.1, which is certificate of use, missing permit, and rental license 22441. Respondent has 60 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of up to $200 per day may issue. Make sure you stay on top of this. You should be fine if you get these done, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And I believe that's it for the contested cases other than... Okay, I don't have them signed in, so...
Did they sign in?
The sheet's here, and there's some other people here that may.
That's what I was going off, because
Okay.
I noticed that they're gone.
I did.
Agenda number 2, case number CE 24051-997, and case address 700 7th Way.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland.
Excuse me, do they need to be sworn in? Or was everybody sworn in? Okay, great, awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
The floor is yours, Officer McFarland.
You ready now? Okay. Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On May 16th, I received a complaint from the owner of 313 Third Way. I do have them present. The complaint was for the exterior lighting disturbing them. I cited the property at 700 7th Way, which is a common area for the Sandalwood Lakes Homeowners Association. On May 20th, the notice of violation was hand-delivered. Certified mail as well as regular mail was sent May 20th. Certified mail was signed for May 28th. The codes that were cited for was exterior lighting, 94-309-A. I have been in contact with the Homeowners Association's property manager, the president, and also their lawyer. I'm not sure who's present here today. I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to the owner of 313 Third Way to contest to the photographs that were entered in the case.
Good morning. My name is Daniel T. Pryor. I am a co-owner of 313 Third Way, and I am the person who took all of the pictures that you see. I am the owner of this property. This light had been a different type of fixture on the top of this pole. On May 9th, they changed the fixture on the top of the pole and put a spotlight in over the parking lot. On May 10th, I contacted the HOA board to have them change the light. My previous experience having contacted management about excessive lighting was met with immediate acquiescence. This one was met with exactly the opposite. The manager forwarded my email to Gloria Bodafan saying that some of this is Ms. Bodafan, and this is the manager, Randall Anderson, by the way, stating that I had a lot of nerve to bring this issue up and that I would just have to learn to live with it. And I brought the entirety of that email conversation that I tried to have with them to get a shield put on this light in my hand, if I can introduce that into evidence.
Okay, I can see it.
Oh, you can see it?
If I can see it.
Anyway, we attempted to get them to reverse whatever decision whomever made, and it seems that they think that FP&L made the decision, but FP&L says they made the decision, and FP&L would not allow me to unilaterally get a shield put on this light. As you can see by these pictures, they saturate the front of my unit now with daylight. I can't use my patio at night anymore because I'm sitting in a stadium light. And I can't open my living room windows anymore at night to look out on our patio, which has downlights, because there's a stadium light in my face. The spotlight is...
Who owns the light?
The pole is owned by FP&L. The HOA is the customer because it's on HOA property, common property.
They put new fixtures on. Somebody has made a very
Okay,
bad...
well, one person at a time, okay? Go
Okay,
ahead.
so anyway, in our attempt to find out who's responsible for putting a shield up on this light, it all came down to the board has to tell FP&L, then FP&L can do it, and the board instructed me that I could pay to put a shield on the light if it could be done. And I think that their violation of code is not my responsibility, it's theirs.
Magistrate, let me add also.
We are not the only neighbor, by the way, who is offended
Sir,
by
I
this.
promise, I'll let you testify, but it has to be one person at a time.
Okay.
Are you done, sir?
I'm done, yeah. I have additional pictures, but I think the ones that are there probably demonstrate well enough. If you want to see them, I can show them to you, however.
And does the city want the other gentleman to testify?
No.
Go ahead, say that again?
You have another gentleman there, do you
Yes.
want him to testify?
He's saying no, I don't
No,
know
I
if
would
the
just add that I
testimony.
live at 313.
First, you have to tell me your name.
Yes, my name's Donald Goodwin. For the sake of everybody here, I'm a member of the Florida Bar. I have been practicing law.
You're the former,
Former trial attorney, civil and criminal, Broward and Dade.
and are you a resident at this home as well?
Yes, and I'm retired now, but I'm still a member.
Sir, do you live at this home as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
All right, this is very obnoxious light intrusion. It wasn't good before with an old fixture, now it's bad. What we have here is a simple case of negligence, and they're ready to move it into an intentional negligence if they keep going.
You have to talk a little slower and more into the mic.
What we have here is a case of negligence. Somebody's made a bad decision, and now they don't want to pay for it. There's been some expensive money sent, and now somebody's trying to defend their expensive bad spending. Now, if we have to move it out of here, we could. Let's solve it here. Tell them to undo their bad thinking, please.
Thank you, sir. Does the city have anything further to present?
Yes, city's requesting 30 days to bring the property into compliance by shielding the light that's in question. If not done within 45 days, city's requesting $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
30
Did
days
you
or
say
45
30
days?
or 45? Yeah, did you say 30 or 45?
45, I'm sorry.
Okay, and just for clarification, it's saying here on our agenda, the Village of Sandalwood HOA, are these individual property owners or representative of the HOA?
Good morning.
I'm not sure
Okay.
what their
I could-
capacity is with the homeowners
I could
association.
introduce us if you don't mind. Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
everyone. I'm Gabriela Botafan. I'm the board president for Village of Sandalwood Lakes. And this is Randall Anderson. He's our community manager. Both of us had been involved in this issue, and I have personally communicated with the homeowner, Danny, as well as I have actually a Zoom meeting with FPNL to try to see how we can get to the bottom of this. Again, I spoke to them last week. I communicated with them via email. In the past, I spoke to our salesperson that we had been entered into this contract with since last year, last week on Friday for about an hour.
Well, you're a salesperson?
No, FPNL, sales department, or whomever they are that
your
actually
contact
are
with
with the
FPNL.
contracts. I'm sorry?
So the contact you have with FPNL that
Correct,
manages?
correct. So we are a community of 222 buildings, 888 units. We had been built back in 82, 85 by Bergen de Vosta off of Village Boulevard. The light poles and the fixtures that we had in the past had been there since the community was built. We did not change anything with the light poles. The original light poles of the community are still in existence as they have been since early 80s. We were made aware that the light fixtures that were used by FPNL were becoming obsolete, and every time we had an issue with the light, it took a very long time for FPNL to correct it. As I'm sure everybody is aware that lives in the city of West Palm Beach, we have crime issues, we have break-in to cars, we have car theft, so on and so forth. So FPNL and our property manager had engaged into a conversation on correcting the issue that we're having with not being able to secure the lights replacement because they were becoming obsolete on time, and then you have, streets that are not lit properly, you have, a safety issue. FPNL had told us that there are 6 different type of light poles that we could choose from a catalog, and 2 different lights, like the actual light. We didn't change anything as far as the light pole. It's still existing the same way as has been before. The only thing we did, and we actually went 50% less power into the actual light itself, but we upgrade that old light from 20, 30 years ago to a new light that is an LED light, which provides a lot more lightning. So when Danny had reached out to the office complaining about the light, and by the way, he's the only person that had reached out to the HOA out of 888 units in the community, which again, it's his right. We're not contesting, his preference of light in his courtyard or anything like that. Randall had forwarded over to me the email, and I communicated with Danny back and forth, and I told him, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We don't have anybody complaining about the lights. Actually, everybody in the community have welcomed the change in the lighting in the community because it provides more security. It's better for the community. I told him, I said, if there's anything that, the reasons why we replaced it, I explained to him in the email. It's, lights are obsolete, it's better electricity usage, for electric bill and so on and so forth. And I told him that I will be looking into speaking to FPNL to give me a little bit of time. He can reach out to the office, ask for the office to properly note his request on the agenda for the board meeting that was held on June 10th. And that way we can communicate with the rest of the board members, and that way we can figure out where we're going. If we wanted to shield the light, which we have no problem doing that, I just need to know from FPNL, how do we properly shield the light? Because if I may show you the pictures of the street, there are multiple buildings on that street that are all getting light from this light pole. There are units that are closer to the light pole actually than Danny's unit is. So again, we're not trying to inconvenience Danny, but what I personally want to do for our community is to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And speaking to FPNL, the person that I'm in communication with and that I will be speaking to today at 12 o'clock is I want to know if we shield just a sliver of the light, so that way he has his piece in his courtyard, but the cars and the street are still safe, and the rest of the owners on the street are okay with the light being shielded.
Hold on one sec. I think we've sort of drifted past where I can be helpful.
Okay.
But, so what's clear to me, as I sit here, right, is we have a bright light, and the city's code violation claim seems well-founded, that the outdoor lighting is producing a glare / reflection that makes it difficult in his home. That's really the only finding that I have to make. The question I have for you is, how much time do you think you will need to resolve this?
So if there is a question of just placing the shield on the light, which hopefully I'll have the answer for it today, it will take, based on FPNL's feedback, anywhere in between 20 to 30 days for them to do that. Now, that will be just partial shield on the light. I would like for the remaining of the parking lot where the cars are being parked and for the remaining units on the street to still benefit from this light.
Special Magistrate, if I may interject, this case was just brought to my attention, and I know it's regarding the HOA, and from hearing it, it seems to be an HOA members issue, and you're more experienced. I don't know if the city, I know we can't levy fines, liens as to the HOA with common areas, my limited understanding, so I'm not sure if we're even able to get involved in requesting fines to be levied against the HOA in this particular situation. I don't know.
We could in theory, right? Because the the HOA owns property. Just because it's an HOA doesn't mean it's outside the jurisdiction of the
Is
city.
it common areas?
It is common area.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you bringing that to the floor.
If I may, and I don't know if the bylaws, it depend, I mean, again, you know, just my limited knowledge of of perhaps the issue here. If it's common areas, I know there's some hesitation if it's common areas as it pertains to, the HOA. Again, I'm just putting it out there.
And Special Magistrate, just so you know, we're not trying not to do right by Danny. I just wanted to know that if we're doing it, we're doing it the right way.
I'm casting no moral or other blame on anyone. I'm just attempting to find compliance with the code. I think the city has established, to my satisfaction at least, that I mean, I'm just looking at that picture, the nature of that light.
May I show you the remaining pictures?
Yeah.
Or the other pictures that we have?
As far as the only thing that I'm concerned about is the light as it's seen from this gentleman's home. That's the scope of my authority. I'm dealing with one home. The rest of it, the HOA, I understand, does have to deal with, and you have to deal with it in a way that is suitable to the rest of the members of the HOA. I'll recognize that. What I'm trying to do here is establish a period of time in which you can figure out how to shield his home from the excessive light.
Magistrate, it's Mark Joyce, Magistrate Code Enforcement. Can I make a suggestion that we table this for, say, 2 months? And
Please, thank you.
hopefully they would take care of the issue, they're working on it, and in the meantime, we could look into whether or not, I know there's been an Attorney General's opinion that we can't put like chronic nuisance fees on the taxes and stuff like that for common areas.
And I know
so-
we just got a fourth DCA case that we argued regarding similar issues. So again, I'm not saying we cannot, I just know there's some pause I have right now. So, I mean.
Yeah, okay. If the city's concerned, then we can certainly pause this. But I would direct that you to continue your efforts.
Yes, absolutely, and we have been.
All right.
We have been. We never said that we don't want to do it. However, because we are working on budgets, and if this is going to include, you know, some more extensive moving of the pole altogether on the other side of the street or whatever, I don't know. I'm not an
I don't think the
electrician, I'm not.
The code doesn't require that. It just
you
says
know.
that it should be shielded.
Again, I don't know if the shield will be sufficient for Danny once we put the shield up, because we're not gonna shield the whole entire street.
All right, why don't you guys try and come up with a solution? We'll, why don't we schedule this, what are we, in, June? Let's reschedule this for August and see where we're at then. All right. Reset for August.
The first hearing in August?
I think technically if you want me, I think it has to be the second one, but if you want to go to Keith, that's fine.
Let's stay with the same.
We'll table it and we'll reschedule, Magistrate,
All right,
if we are.
We'll
wanting to.
reschedule, we'll renotice it. In the meantime, why don't you guys take, since you're all here now, take a moment to talk to each other and see if you can come up with some plan to resolve it so you don't have to come back.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Agenda number 7.
We're ready for that last contested case with Mr. Watkins?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have a case number for that, and it's not on the agenda, but this is in regards to,
But was it noticed?
Yes, it was noticed.
All right.
It was noticed.
If it's noticed, then let's hear it.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
we have to hear it, Special Magistrate, because this is like the second time noticing, but yeah.
okay.
Which, I apologize for the housekeeping and the miscommunication.
That's all right, these things happen.
I think we have a resolution.
The address is
That's even better.
509.
Yay.
Because it has
54th
been it has been a bit of a morning.
I'll put on the record the Special Magistrate jinxed it.
I did. I did. I should never say anything before I
Yes.
hear it. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So, case numbers, oops, I missed that, CE 240113331, case address 509 54th Street.
Good morning, Special Magistrate. My name is Isidro Garcia. I'm the homeowner, and I have spoken, is it Mr. Watkins?
If I may, Mr. Garcia, can we have the
Gonna
city
start.
present first and start and
All right.
present for the record?
So-
Thank you.
Robert Watkins, State of West Mutual Code Compliance. This property was originally cited on January 24th. It was originally cited for sodding of the swell, 78-94C, fence permit if replacing the fence of 94-302 A-3, sodding of the yard, 94-442 C-1, and fence maintenance, 94-302 A-4. Certified mail was sent the second time on June 4th, and it was received. The property and City Hall were both posted in January the 29th, and for a second time in June the 6th. While on patrol, I noticed that there was a large amount of trash out by the road for pickup, which is usual, but there was bare areas of the swell, there was bare areas of the yard on east and west side of the driveway, and the fence maintenance. I observed no other violations as of yesterday. No other violations had come into compliance. They're all out of compliance in reference to us speaking about them today. With this, the city is requesting an additional 40 days at the fact of $50 per day after. I've had communication with the homeowner, Mr. Garcia, who's here today, and that's it.
Okay, nothing further at this time from the city.
Yes, the agreement is, Judge, I misunderstood the initial citation. I thought the city wanted for me to replace my native plantings with grass. That's not the case. I've got a lot of nature back there in terms of bugs and what have you.
It sure seems like it.
Yes.
Yeah, there just has to be an approved kind of ground cover.
Right, and Mr. Watkins explained that his issue is with the swale past the black olive trees. The black olive trees, there's 2 or 3 of them, I forget, on that side of the property on the swale, which I believe the city owns and maintained at one time. The roots have the roots in the shade make it impossible to plant anything directly under the trees, but Mr. Watkins and I agreed that I could plant something to the west, to the west of the trees, to the property line, which is sort of barren right now. The reason it's barren is the city had installed a sprinkler system in the swale many years ago. I've been there for 21 or 22 years. The problem was the city was mowing that area with machines that would knock off the sprinklers. So water was being wasted. The city, I think, finally, I understand, disconnected that line. So I'm going to plant something. I think he mentioned bahia grass. I'm either going to plant bahia grass or some sort of native planting in that area. But again, without irrigation, I don't know how long. We're getting rain now, but that's not going to last forever. So I'm going to plant it and see what happens. The other resolution is west of the driveway. There's a driveway in the front of the house. There's a barren area, I'm going to say maybe 2 to 3 feet wide. And that was covered at one time with, what are those called again? The banyan? And unfortunately, we had a white fly infestation years ago. I tried to save them. It had a beautiful hedge. The white fly just killed them all. So I've replaced that with sea grape on the south side, which looks, I think, okay, right?
Yeah,
Sea grape is good. And there is one stump left of the banyan. Mr. Watkins says I don't have to remove the stump. It would take a lot of effort, but I need to just plant that little strip. So I'm going to plant that little strip. I think we discussed lantana, possibly blue days, milkweed, something along those lines.
I don't really need to know that. The fence?
The only item left on the fence was repaired. I paid somebody $250 for it. Mr. Watkins says that there is a gap in the opening. I'm going to try to fix that. I think what happened is the way the fence was constructed, and we did have a permit for the fence back in 2006 or whatever. There are 2 posts, and the posts maybe could not be aligned perfectly well. So there is a slight gap, and I don't know if it goes into the yard or out of the yard. I think it's maybe a 2 to 3 inch gap. I don't know how I'm going to repair that, but with 40 days, I should be able to figure something out. That's the last. Is that the last
that was
item?
it. Yep.
So, Mr. Garcia, do you think 40 days is sufficient amount of time for you to address all these things?
Unless I have a stroke someday. Thank you.
I'll tell you, just because 40 is a weird number, I'm just going to give you 60 days, which is
All right, thank you.
sufficient amount of time, I think, to address that. And it sounds like you know your plants a bit better than I do, so you're probably in good shape. So in this case number, I'm going to make a finding of fact and law that notice is sufficient. The property is in violation of the listed code section, specifically the sodding, the fence. That's it, right? Sodding and the fence?
Yeah, he's gonna replace the section that's bent or whatever in the fence. He's gonna put the sod in the swell and the plants on the east and west side of the driveway, so
Alright.
that will give him.
I'll adopt the reference to the code officer as to that. Respondent has 60 days to bring into compliance or a fine of up to $50 per day may issue, and thanks for being patient.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Agenda number 7, case number CE 2406-2069, case address 350 Nottingham Boulevard.
Good morning, Richard Pasmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. The property at 350 Nottingham Boulevard was on our expired rental license list for an outstanding balance that was not paid. It expired September 30th of last year. This property was cited on June 3rd. Certified mail was sent out June 3rd. It was signed and received June 6th. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on June 10th. The affidavit of posting was then completed and is attached to this case file. I've had no contact with any representatives for the property. The code sections that were cited are 22-441. That is for the rental license requirement. Since it was expired, they did not have a valid rental license. 2232A, certificate of use required. That goes along with the rental license. And 2635B, repeat violation. This is a repeat violation of the same case of last year where they were delinquent that came up from the list as well. The case was CE 23030252. The code sections in that case were 2232A and 22441, same ones in this case. They did pay the balance on June 18th, 2024. That leaves it being in violation for 15 days. So from the first cited 6/3/24 to 6/18/24. And the city is asking for 15 days to find the property in violation, repeat violation, for 15 days at a fine of $150 a day for a total of $2,250. The photos that you saw were of my posting the violation at the property, and there are some screen grabs of our system showing the previous balance where it was delinquent and showing the day they made a payment.
What is the business on the property?
It's a rental property. There's a duplex, I believe.
And they paid for they paid the tax release and the certificate of use? Is it just 15 days after it was due?
Yeah, after being cited, not after it was due.
15 days after being cited? Okay.
Yes.
Well after it was due.
Yeah, almost
When
a
was
year.
it actually due?
September 30th, 2023.
So significantly after it
Yeah.
was due. Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Nothing further from the city.
All right, case CE 24062069, I make the following findings of fact and law. Find notice is sufficient to find the property having been in violation of 22441, a business tax receipt, and 2232A, certificate of use. I make further findings that violation constitutes a repeat violation under the code of the city of West Palm Beach. As such, I issue a fine for the 15 days in violation, the amount of $150 a day, for a total fine of $2,250.
Agenda number 8, case number CE 24051987, case address 1003 Macintosh Street. Thank you.
Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach, Richard Pasmino. This property I inspected this property in response to a complaint from one of the neighbors. I had cited this property on May 16th, 2024. Certified mail was sent out May 16th as well. It was returned. But in addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on May 23rd of 2024. The affidavit of posting was completed, notarized, and is attached in the case files. This property was cited for Code Section 94-302A4, fence maintenance. There is a wood fence in the rear that you might see in the photos that is damaged, missing slats, and just damaged. 9471C, outdoor storage. The owners leaving coolers, fishing supplies, boxes, all in the front yard, visible to the public. And 944876B, restricted vehicle parking. There have been restricted vehicles, jet skis, boats being parked on the grass in the front yard. And 944887B5, screening of the restricted vehicles. There are boats parked in the driveway that are not properly screened from abutting properties. I've had no contact with the owner of this property. As of Monday, this property has complied 9471C, outdoor storage, and 944887B6, the restricted vehicle parking location. The fence repair and the screening of the vehicles is still remaining. All the photos you see accurately depict the issues. The city's recommending 60 additional days, or if not, we're asking for a fine of $100 a day to comply.
Thank you. And did you take the photographs yourself?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you said 60 days and $100 or $100 if non-compliant?
Yes.
Nothing further of the city.
What's the problem with the fence?
Can you pull up the photos, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Go up. No, it's not that fence. That's a neighboring fence.
Oh, well, that one didn't look great either.
Right there.
The neighbor needs
That's
to
the
be
wood
cited.
fence in the rear.
Oh, the wooden fence, not the chain link.
Yeah, the wood fence, it's missing slats and broken and
Yeah, it's,
sagging.
okay, it's clearly in disrepair. If they move the vehicles to the, why is the screening issue still a
So
screen?
the vehicles right there on the left, it would be the west side of the property that are in the driveway are not screened correctly from the, no,
So there's still, the vehicle on
All the way
the
up.
side of the house is still there?
yeah, they have multiple boats that are coming and going. They're always there.
Oh,
So-
so the restricted vehicle parking was just that it was parked in the wrong space?
On the grass.
On the
They
grass,
had like jet
right.
skis and boats.
And the screening is it's parked in the right space, it's just not screened properly?
Yes, correct.
Or at least it's parked on an appropriate surface, right?
I
Okay,
got that part. Right, yeah.
all right, I got it. And you said you had no, communication with the,
No, no contact.
well, at least they moved one of the boats, right?
They cleaned up a lot of the outside storage too. So,
All right, do you think 60 days is sufficient amount of time for them to bring this into compliance?
yes.
Okay. All right, CE 2405197, I make the following findings of fact on life file notice. It's sufficient to find the property in violation of 94302A4, the fence, the wooden fence is in disrepair, and 94487B5, the boats are not properly screened. Responded to 60 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Agenda number 9, case number CE 2404182, case address 425 Sunset Road has been complied with. Next case on the agenda is agenda number 10, case number CE 2404186, case address 427 Sunset Road.
Good morning, Officer Underwood, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. While I was out patrolling my assigned zone, I witnessed violations at the property in question, 427 Sunset Road. The initial property was cited April 23rd, 2024. Certified mail and regular mail were posted April 24th, and City Hall was posted April 23rd. Certified mail was returned April 27th. The following violations were cited on the property: 74-4-C-5, which is clean to the center of the adjacent right-of-way; 94-442, landscape and swale parkway maintenance; 18106B, excessive weeds and overgrowth. I have been in contact with the property owner. We met at the property yesterday morning, and I explained what needs to be done to bring the property into compliance, and he has agreed to have everything cleaned out and straightened up. And the city's requesting 30 additional days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved. The photos that are being depicted right now are taken by me and are true.
Great, thank you. You stated you spoke with the owner. He did not, or he or she did not want to attend the hearing, do you know?
Yesterday I met with him personally at the property. I gave him the option. Obviously, he has a job and has stuff to do, and I told him he wasn't required to be here and I would speak on behalf of both of us. We came to an agreement of 30 days, and he said it would be plenty of time to finish the cleanup.
Okay, nothing further from the city.
All right, so we got the overgrowth on the right-of-way. It looks like a lot of overgrowth. Looks like we got overgrowth on the landscaping and we got weeds, okay.
He was also cited for address characters, but he had fixed those, so that was put up, so that was taken off of the agenda.
So basically, he's gotta do some landscape.
Correct.
All right, in CE 24041867, I make the following findings of fact and law. If my notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of 74.4C5, 94.442E, and 18.106B, all associated with doing landscaping in the right-of-way on the property and removing excessive weeds. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of up to $100 per day issue.
Thank you.
Agenda number 11, case number CE 24051-934, case address 444 25th Street.
Welcome back.
Good morning, Jesus Mendiola, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Property at 404 25th Street was originally a complaint. I inspected a complaint on April 25th, 2024. The violations discovered was 105.1, work without permits, which was the pavers in the back, and also the structure added in the back. 18105 -J, paint the exterior of the property. There was a mildew and stains on the rear and side of the property where also the paint was peeling. 22-32-A, which was one of the businesses at the location, wasn't delinquent list, and they needed to pay for their COU, certificate of use, and also 82-144 for their business tax receipt. There was 2 delinquents and 1 new business that didn't have a business license. And also 78-6-2, which was for the rear address characters for all 3 units. The property was cited on May 2nd, 2024. Certified regular mail was sent on 5/3/2024. It was returned. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on 5/13/2024. I completed the affidavit of posting. The photographs taken accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed. I had contact with the property owner from Midland, Mr. Mark Woody. He's not able to attend since he's out of state, but we came to an agreement for asking 65 days or $200 until compliance is achieved. As of now, the only violations as of yesterday is 105.1 and 18106-A, which is the clean sanitary for the pavers that need to be pressure washed, and the permits for the pavers, which he has submitted an application for the permit yesterday. And
What does he need the permit for? Is it the?
for the pavers.
Oh.
So the pavers were added on without, they never got a permit back in 2016. And then there's that gazebo canopy in the back of the building. I also have an email which I messaged to building department, and they told me they would need a permit for that, or it would need to be removed. And also in my pictures as of yesterday, you see that it is bolted down to the ground, so they would need to either apply for a permit or remove it.
Is the numbering still an issue?
No, there's just 105.1, which is the permit for the structure, for the gazebo, and for the pavers, and pressure washing the pavers, the 106-A Clean Center.
And no, not the painting anymore, right?
No, they painted the property.
Okay, so it's just 105.1 and 18106A.
Yep, correct.
And you're asking for 65 days or 200 if non-compliant?
Correct.
And the photographs, you took them?
Correct.
They truthfully and accurately depict the observation of the violations?
Correct.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
In your conversations with the respondent, they agreed that 65 days was a sufficient amount of time for them to bring these final two things into compliance?
Correct.
All right, in case CE 24051934, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 105.1, the failure to obtain a building permit related to the gazebo and the pavers, and 18106A, clean and sanitary, the dirty pavers in the area has to be cleaned. Responded to 65 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of up to $200 per day, Mayor.
Agenda number 13, case number CE 24021-429, case address 612 33rd Street.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Hasten Dilla, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. I discovered this violation while patrolling my zone. The property is 612 33rd Street. It was discovered on February 7th, 2024. The violation discovered was they need to repair a fence, they had a rotten facial, alleyway maintenance, swell maintenance, trash and debris, and they needed to remove outdoor storage. The property was cited on February 9th and on May 16, 2024, since this was rescheduled. The certified and regular mail was sent on May 17, 2024. It was returned. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on 5/20/2024. I completed the affidavit of posting. The photographs taken accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed. I do have contact with the property owner. We've been in contact. She lives out of state, so wasn't able to make it today. So we did come into agreement for asking 30 days or $200 until the compliance is achieved. As of yesterday, the violation that's still outstanding is 94-302-A. After that was originally cited to repair the fence, but they went and changed and put a new fence. So now requesting for they got to get a fence permit or remove the fence.
So the only violation is the fence permit?
Correct. The
Okay,
prohibited tree was cut down, and
Were they aware that if they were to replace the fence, they would need a permit, to your knowledge?
correct.
Oh, so they
There was a
were-
misunderstanding between her and the contractor. Like I said, she's out of state, so her
Okay.
contractor is in state, and
Would it make more sense to give her 60 days to get the fence permit?
she asked for 30. I told her she can get for more. She said 30 should be enough.
Sometimes they don't know how long it's gonna take.
Especially out of state, I would recommend the 60 in that case, if that's okay with.
I mean, if she's gonna get a fence permit, she's gonna, yeah. Just so we can avoid having to go back here and fine her if she doesn't get it done in 30 days, why don't we say 60?
No, that's fine. The only reason I had requested 30 days due since this case had been rescheduled twice. It was supposed to go back in hearing.
Yeah, that's
previously,
fair, but, I mean,
60 days.
she took the tree out and she's gonna get the permit, and she's cooperating with the
It's-
city, right?
So-
Yeah. All right, CE 24021429, to make the following findings of fact and law. I notice is sufficient to find the property in violation 94302A3. Fence needs to either be repaired or replaced. Respondent has 60 days to come to compliance or fine of up to $200 per day, Master. Thank you, sir.
Agenda number 14, case number CE 24051933, case address 2405 Division Avenue.
Welcome back, sir.
So many papers, I'm back.
There is a lot of papers in this business.
All right, good morning again. My name is Donald Lattimore, currently employed with the City of West Palm Beach as a code enforcement officer. While on patrol, I saw tires illegally stored on property and impeding the flow of traffic. I initiated my investigation on 4/24/24 at the property located at 2405 Division Avenue. This property is occupied. There I observed the following violation: 18105J, paint structure; 18106A, trash and debris; 74-4-B, bulk/white good, which was a toilet; 74-4-C-4, trimming the trees and hedges; 74-4-E, tires, which is the hazardous waste; 94-305-E, visibility triangle; and 94-315-B-1, screening of the outdoor storage. The city issued a NOV to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The NOV was noticed by certified mail on 5/2/24, as well as regular mail on 5/2/24 by the city's clerk. I posted an NOV on the property on 5/3/24, as well as City Hall on 5/3/24. I completed an affidavit of posting as well on 5/3/24, and it is in the case file. I revisit the property on 6/25/24 and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code section: 18105J, which is painting the structure or pressure washing the structure; 18106A, trash and debris; 94-315-B-1, screening of the outdoor storage. I took the photographs at the initial investigation, and when I revisit the property, the following photograph shows the violation still exists on the property. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violation I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, but I have made contact with him multiple times, including on 6/25, which was yesterday. The city is asking for 45 days to comply, which he agreed, and if no compliance, a daily fine of $150.
Officer Latimer, we're just down to these three sections: the outdoor storage, the clean and sanitary, and the painting?
Yes, the trash and debris, which the trash and debris, he needs the city to probably come out and pick it up, but I explained to him, as well as providing him with a pamphlet, the reason why I believe he's continuing to be skipped with the trash and debris that needs to be picked up. He has vegetation, as well as trash mixed into one pile. But he did inform me that this go around, he's just gonna have somebody come and pick up the pile of trash and debris.
But we're no longer concerned about the hazardous waste, the visibility triangle, the bulk goods, none of that?
No, the tires were obviously illegally dumped on his property, and since then he has installed a very nice security system, which he showed me, and he's willing to share that information with the city police in the future in case there's illegal dumping. So he's taking steps to comply.
Great, thank you. Nothing further from the city.
All right, in CE 24051-933, I make the following findings of fact and life on notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 94-315-B1 for having outdoor storage that isn't properly screened, 18106A for trash and debris on the property, and 18105J. The exterior surfaces need to be painted or washed. Respondent has 45 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of $150 per damnation.
Agenda number 17, case number CE 2405-2026, case address 913 14th Street.
All right, last go round. Good morning again. My name is Donald Lattimore, currently employed with the city of West Palm Beach as a code enforcement officer. I was contacted via email regarding an unhoused individual camping on a vacant lot with outdoor storage and trash and debris. I initiated my investigation on 5/20/24 at the property located at 913 14th Street. This property is vacant. There I observed the following violations: 18106A, trash and debris; 94-71-C, outside storage, which included a tent. The city issued a NOV to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The NOV was certified the NOV was noticed by certified mail on 5/21/24 as well as regular mail on 5/21/24 by the city's clerk. And I posted the NOV on the property on 5/22/24 as well as City Hall. I completed an affidavit of posting on 5/22/24 and it is in the case file. I revisited the property on 6/25/24 and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code section, 18106A. There's still trash and debris out there. I took the photos at the initial investigation and when I revisit the property. The following photographs show the violations still exist on the property. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, but I did make contact on 6/12/24 via email. The city is asking for 30 days to comply or a daily fine of $100. I have not discussed the fines and the compliance date with the property owner.
But all they have to do is clean the property up.
I really wanted to comply to trash and debris, but they just need to clean the trash and debris and cut the grass now since it's grown higher, so I can make sure that the trash and debris where the unhoused individual was staying has been removed as well.
And do you believe 30 days is a reasonable time for that?
Yes, I'm going to send an email to the owner. I believe my response in the email to the owner kind of rubbed her the wrong way. And that response was, I have no authority to evict the unhoused person on her property, but I did give her the information to go through the City of West Palm Police channels to get a no trespassing sign on her property. She lives in Jacksonville and was a little upset that she may have to drive down just to get that taken care of since I could not. But to be direct, I do think 30 days is a significant amount of time to clean up the property, the trash and debris that's there, and get the grass cut.
All right, CE 240520026, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 18106A, trash and debris on the property. Give the respondent 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $100 per day. May I issue?
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I was in deep funding, but what about your agenda number 18, case number CE 24041908, case address 319 Clematis Street.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Don Williams, Business Tax Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. I cited the business of the law office of Timothy L. Grice for a business tax, code section 82-144. Previously, he had a license, but it expired September 30th of 2022. I actually cited this business of 42924, certified mail and regular mail sent out on 4/30 of 24. Certified mail was signed for on 5/6 of 24. City Hall and the property was posted 5/30 of 24. Contact was made at the location of the business with an employee. At that time, I left the violation on the desk, which you'll see in the photo. The city asking for a one-time fine of $250, or first of all, 10 days, or $250 one-time fine.
What's the business?
Law office of Timothy L. Grice.
And to the best of your knowledge, the law office is still operating at that location?
Oh, yeah.
And did you make contact with the attorney?
Not the attorney himself, but an employee, yes.
Okay.
Can't say we get very many attorneys on this. All right, in CE 240411908, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 82144. Respondent has 10 days to come into compliance or a one-time fine of $250.
Agenda number 19, case number CE 24041910, case address 319 Clematis Street.
Don Williams, business tax officer with the City of West Palm Beach. I cited the business of Mowing Calm Management for a business tax receipt, code section 82-144. I actually cited this business on 4/29 of '24. Certified mail and regular mail mailed out 4/30 of '24. Certified mail was signed for at that location at 5/6 of '24. City Hall and the property was posted 5/30 of '24. Contact was made with the management company. They actually managed the whole building at 319 Clematis. I'm asking for a 10 days to comply or one-time fine of $250. That's it.
10 days or 250?
I'm sorry?
Did you say 10 days or 250?
Yes, sir.
And Morning Comm Management is still operating at this
Correct.
location?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, did the city have?
No, nothing further.
All right, case CE 240419110. Make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice sufficient to find the property in violation of 82144, respondent has 10 days to come into compliance or fine of $250 per day may issue. I'm sorry, one-time fine of $250.
Thank you, sir.
Agenda number 20, case number CE 24041913, case address 319 Clematis Street.
Has complied.
Has been complied. Agenda number 21, case number CE 24031619, case address 319 54th Street.
That should be 631 54th Street?
631 54th Street?
Yes. Case address 631 54th Street, correct.
Okay. City of West Palm Beach Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited on March the 15th. This property was cited for outdoor storage, landscape maintenance, rental license, certificate of use, junk vehicle, trash can, and public view. The certified mail was sent to this property on March the 15th. Certified mail was delivered March the 18th. The property and City Hall was both posted on April the 3rd. While on patrol, I observed all of the violations. I took all the the images of all violations, and all the images truthfully and accurately depict what I saw when I was there. As of yesterday, the only item that had come into compliance was the junk vehicle, which is 34-102A. I've had no correspondence with the homeowner, but I did have correspondence with the tenant that was there after the junk vehicle was removed. And on this, the city is requesting additional 30 days at $100 per day after.
I'm looking at the pictures. You took the pictures?
Yes.
And they truthfully and accurately depict what the violations are?
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Officer Watkins, all these sections are still at issue?
Yeah, everything except for the junk vehicle, 34-102A.
So that outdoor storage is what those...
Yeah, there's, the outdoor storage is still there. There's other things, outside. There's, like stroller pieces and things just stuck around right behind the little playhouse right there on the ground. It's hard to see from that picture, but the latest ones you could tell.
The landscaping looks like it needs to be maintained.
Yeah, it's still the same.
The business tax receipt, certificate of use is a rental property?
Yeah, they haven't been delinquent. There's been no payment for this coming year for the rental license.
And to the best of your knowledge, the renters are still on the property?
Yes, there has been people there. I've seen the trash can get moved to the street and put wrapped back on the side of the home.
And the trash can is still out there in public view?
Yes.
Sorry, the remedy you were seeking was 30 days?
Yes, sir.
And what was the fine?
$100 per day after.
All right, CE 240311610, I make the following finding of fact on law. If I notice sufficient to find the property in violation of 9471C, that there's materials and other things stored on the outside of the property. 18106M, the landscaping needs to be trimmed and maintained 22-441 and 22-32A. This is a rental property without a tax receipt or certificate of use. And 74-34A1H, there's a trash can in public view. Respondent has 30 days to bring this property into compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Agenda number 24, case number CE 2403-1645, case address 718 55th Street.
Oh, Robert, that's you.
You were almost out of here.
Almost.
So close.
City of West Beach Code Compliant Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited on March 22nd. Certified mail was sent March 22nd. Certified mail is still in transit as of yesterday. I think it's getting delivered. Property in City Hall was posted on April 3rd. While on patrol, I noticed trash debris, overgrowth, appliances with doors in the yard, trash can in public view, paint and outdoor storage. As of yesterday, the only thing that's come into compliance was the trash can in public view, and I think the stove had been removed. I took all the images. I've had correspondence with the homeowner, the property owner, who advised me that they were getting everything taken care of, and clearly it hasn't. So with this one, the city is requesting 30 additional days at $100 per day after. I did take all the images, and they truthfully and accurately depict what I saw when I was there.
So they moved the trash can and the appliance doors?
Yeah, there was a stove out front at one time.
All right, so the stove is gone and the trash can is gone, but everything else is still there.
Yeah, there's still trash. There's even trash on the fence. The landscape still needs to be cut on both sides, and there's still as of yesterday there was a shopping cart outside in the front, so there's still things that are being stored outside.
And the paint is, no,
Yeah,
okay,
the
I can
paint
see
is
that.
still
but
there.
Needs to be washed or painted.
Mm-hmm.
Did he have anything?
Nothing.
All right, in case CE 2403-1645, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 18106A, which is trash and debris on the property, 74-4C3. The landscaping is overgrown and needs to be maintained and cut. 18106G, the surface of the property needs to be cleaned or painted, and 9471C, the outdoor storage, including the shopping cart, need to be removed. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Did we call agenda item number 23?
Did we call number 23?
Yeah, we.
Yes.
Yeah, we did that one
Oh,
already.
we did? Okay, thank you.
Do we need a break, or do we want to just roll
Yes,
into?
please,
Okay.
a bathroom break,
All right.
for sure.
Let's take a few minutes and we'll reconvene for other minutes.
Agenda number 25, case number CE 200103339, case,
Actually, technically, let me call us back into order. Usually you say like, TV. Is it already on? All right, okay. All right, I call us back into order. This is the schedule for other matters as part of the West Palm Beach Code Enforcement hearing agenda. Cases will be heard in the order in which they appear on the agenda. If you haven't already, please make sure you sign in so that the city staff knows that you are here. The cases will be heard in the order in which they appear. Once you hear your case heard, go ahead and proceed directly to the podium on my right-hand side. The city will introduce the case, after which time you'll have an opportunity to ask me for whatever remedy that you are seeking. It is important, if you are here, that you ask me for what you are seeking, especially if you asked for this hearing to be here. So, specifically, tell me what you are asking for and why I should grant it to you. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, which means the formal rules of evidence do not apply here. However, all testimony is taken under oath under penalty of perjury. So if you're going to testify today, or you think you might testify, or there's a possibility that you might testify, I'd ask you that you rise, raise your right hand so I can swear you in. Anyone that's going to testify? You have to stand up. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury and the laws of the state of Florida?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let's try again.
thank you for bearing with me. Agenda number 25, case number CE 200103339, case address is 834 K Street.
I'd like to hand this over to the magistrate so you can take a look at the proof that I have.
Hold on 1 second. Let's let the city introduce the case first.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The case reference 834 K Street was originally cited January 18th, 2020. This went to a special magistrate hearing August 19th, 2020. They were originally cited for work performed without permits. They needed inspections that had to pass. There was an addition added to the rear of the structure, and there was a stop work order issued. Again, this went to special magistrate hearing August 19th, 2020. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of September 21st, 2020, and that ran for 1,263 days at $50 a day, excuse me. And that was complied September 18th, 2020. The total fine was $63,150. I'm sorry, it was complied March 7th, 2024. I apologize. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting as well as regular mail. This was done under the previous owner. This is the new owner of the property that is here before us today. So the city requests a reduction of 15% of the lien, which would be $9,472.50.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I'd like to hand you
Can you
some
start with
proof.
your name, please?
Lionel Dorta.
Lionel.
Dorta, D-O-R-T-A.
Okay, Mr. Dorta, go ahead.
Can I hand you some
You have to
documents?
show it to the city first?
Oh, sure.
But our position is not, we're not wiping it out to zero, right? Yeah, that is the city's position. We were not able to forgive to zero.
I'm just gonna put my claim and then.
Sure, of course, of
Then
course.
we'll work out a number.
You can give it to a magistrate.
What are these documents that I'm looking at, sir?
Well, basically, I'm gonna go through an explanation of what transpired with this property and why there are mitigating circumstances to this case. And I'm gonna go through some of the information. I just wanna provide you proof that what I'm saying is factual.
Well, you're under oath, so I always presume that you're not lying.
No, I would not do that.
Go ahead, sir.
Sure. So we bought the house from a widow. Her name is Caridad Hernandez, married to Mr. Fuentes. They were married for 20 years. You can see the marriage certificate, that's number one. She came to us because, in her words, she did not know how to get out of the trouble she was in. Her husband has committed suicide, and that's item number two. If you can see that he hanged himself in the house.
That's terrible.
In front of the entrance of the house for her to find him. He left a note saying he could not take it anymore with the issues of the fines with the city of West Palm Beach. And in addition, he had signed an agreement with a company called NVR Realty. See attached number 3. If you Google that name, you will see the Florida Attorney General is suing them for unfair business practices. They are the company who takes advantage of the poor and the elderly. They make you sign a 40-year agreement that when you sell, you have to pay them a commission. If you do not sell through them, then the lien is placed against the house. You cannot sell it or refinance it unless you pay their fees. I made a complaint to the Attorney General, and they advised me that NVR went into bankruptcy in order to stall their efforts. I had no choice to pay them off, so I sent a wire to my lawyers for $6,500 and received the lease from this criminal enterprise. In addition, the Fuentes family has started a probate of her husband and tried to take the house away from Ms. Caridad Hernandez and the other house at 845 Green Street. When I asked Ms. Hernandez what was her monthly income, she told me $1,600 a month Social Security check. So she could not fix the violations, hire a licensed contractor, pay for permits, survey applications, and pay the fines. In addition, she did not have the money to fight her husband's family in court. We, as the new owners, came in with legal counsel, see number 4, and were able to stop the family of Mr. Fuentes from stealing her rightful inheritance. We have to buy 834 K Street and 845 Green Street with the violations and the fines against our house as well, without having ownership. We did not have standing, unless we had ownership, we did not have standing to cure the violations and issue the NVR Realty. And another reason why I think the reduction is in order is I started the application process on December 12, 2020, and I received the demo permit 80 days later. The fines were still running. See number 5. Where am I? Okay, 5. At one point, they wanted to give them an environmental report that the inspector himself, Mr. Kemper, told us that they did not need it due to the small frame room and taken down. Then they wanted FP&L to come out and disconnect the electricity from the pole. Nobody could understand why, since the house was not being taken down, just a small structure. So now I had to get a survey. They said no. They said no. It's not good enough. Need one with a small room in the survey. So I had to redo that. They never said that to begin with, or would have had done the first time. I can continue with other matters that happened here, as far as things that happen along the way. But I know you have other matters to attend to. So the way that I think about this is really, it's only people like me that take on these type of cases. It's only people like me that take on the foreclosures, the houses that are abandoned, people who have passed away, people who can't afford to fight. And so at this point now, the only person that's left to take a bite out of is me. But I'm the person that got this thing resolved. So for the city to take $9,000 from me, the only thing that I can basically think is that A, you're trying to punish me, or B, this is a source of revenue for the city. So I don't know which one it is. Honestly, I think a fair settlement here is maybe some fees that it costs the city for clerical work, for Mr. Marcus to go out and stuff like that. I think somewhere around the $2,000 mark is probably fair.
I understand how you might feel that way,
Mm-hmm.
but it's important to remember that this is televised, right? And so
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
it's important to remember that this is videoed, so people see this, and it's important for people to understand that they simply can't ignore a code violation, and then subsequently it just disappears later. So the city does have a reasonable basis, other than just punishing you or taking a bite out of you, to try and make sure that their code enforcement liens have some value that doesn't automatically get dismissed. With that said, the city came in here and offered to reduce it to 15% of what it was, which was $63,000 down to $9,000. So that's not nothing. With that said, make me an offer. What is it that what you think is would be sufficient here.
You wanna cut the baby in half?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear, what was the baby?
It's a saying, you wanna cut the baby in half.
Yeah, I know the saying, I didn't know what the baby, what was our offer, is what I'm asking.
Our offer was $9,472.50.
So my offer is half of that.
So that would be what?
Yes, I'm aware of the, term.
Close to 42.
Thank you.
I think it's a biblical reference.
Yes, it is Solomon, actually.
Right.
But I just didn't know what the baby was that we're splitting.
Thank you.
So the respondent is asking to reduce it to $4,736. What's the city's response to that?
What was the original amount?
63,150. 15 would have been 94.
You wanna go to 10, 6,300?
63 even.
Yeah.
Okay. Magistrate, the city would counter with an even 6,300 as our lowest.
Mr. Dorda?
You know, I mean, all the leverage is on your side. I need to sell this property because that's how I make my living. And so, I think I made a fair offer at half. I really do.
And the city appreciates that. But there's two reasons behind the reason for our counter is one, it was purchased with the knowledge of a lien, and two, these are now rental properties.
First of all, they're not rental properties. So 845 Green Street is rental, and I pay for the rental license. And so I understand that being a rental license, the fines for 834 K Street was attached to 845 Green Street, which I understand is what the city of West Palm Beach does. But regardless of whether it's a rental property or flip property, it doesn't really matter.
All right, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Huh?
All right, I'll CE 200-10339. I'll split that difference, so we'll reduce it to $5,500 payable. How much time do you need, sir?
I like to pay it right now. How do I pay?
We'll say 30 days.
Do I
And,
get
I think
something in
they'll give
writing
you
so I
a,
can just make the payment?
Yes, you'll get a notice.
Or you,
Yes, we'll have it for you in just a second.
okay. Yes. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too.
Agenda number 26, case number CE 080804448, case address 0 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. Correct address is 1020 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard.
Hello, my name is Leslie Savin.
All right, Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The case CE 080804448, 1020 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, was originally cited August 13th, 2008. They were cited for overgrowth of the lot, trash and debris, and the fence needing to be repaired. This went to special magistrate hearing October 22nd, 2008. It was ordered for the fine to start as of December 8th, 2008. That ran for 3,789 days at $50 a day for a total of $189,450. This was complied on April 24th, 2019. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting and regular mail. This was done under the same owner. This is the representative of the new owner here today in front of us. We do have an agreement beforehand, Magistrate, to reduce the fine to $20,000 payable within 1 year.
Yes, ma'am, can you tell me your name?
Leslie Savin.
And ma'am, you're the new owner of the property?
No, I'm the realtor for the owner of the property.
You're the realtor, and you negotiated a settlement with the city?
Yes.
to reduce the fine from 189,450 to 20?
Yes, that's correct.
Is that your understanding? And how much time do you need to pay that?
1 year, please.
I'm sorry?
1 year, please.
That's
The
the
agreement?
agreement, magistrate. That's the agreement that was
Oh,
put
that was
on
the
the
agreement?
record. Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. All right, in CE 080804448, I reduce the fine from 189,450 to $20,000 payable within 1 year. Thank you for coming in.
She has your order.
Agenda case number 27, case number CE 220103990, case address 808 Claremore Drive. This case also comes with agenda number 28, case number CE 191000298, and address is 808 Claremore Drive.
I'm sorry, it's 289.
Can he see you here?
The case
Why don't you
number is
move over to where he
289.
can see you, and then I'll get up and-
So agenda number 8, case number CE 191000289, correct?
Thank
Case
you.
address 80 Claremore Drive.
Thank you.
We're doing both, right?
Yes.
Yes,
it's
both of them.
Agenda items 27 and 28, Magistrate. Would you like to hear them at the same time?
Unless there's an objection.
All right, cool. All right, Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. For case number CE 220100390, this case was originally cited on January 27th, 2022. It was cited for trash and debris and paint needed on the exterior of the structure. This went to a special magistrate hearing April 20th, 2022. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of June 20th, 2022. That ran for 172 days at $50 a day, for a total of $8,600. This was complied December 9th, 2022. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting and regular mail. It is under the same owner, 4 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. The city requests a reduction to 25% of that lien, which will be $2,150. In case number CE 191000289, this case was originally cited October 18, 2019. They were cited for overgrowth and unsanitary conditions of the exterior and the exterior walkway and subsequent steps needing to be pressure cleaned. This was went to a special magistrate hearing February 19, 2020. It was ordered for the fine to start as of March 21st, 2020. That ran for 678 days at $50 a day for a total of $33,900. This was complied January 28th, 2022. Service in this case was also achieved by way of posting and regular mail. Again, same owner, 4 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. In this case, the city would like to request a reduction to 15% of the lien, which would be $5,085.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, my name is Wendy Levitt.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm going to start on the other reverse order that Mr. Williams did, because for me, this started at the end of 2019, towards the holiday period, and I first got the notice and called the other Mr. Williams, Don Williams, and got an extension of time. And I think I got a second extension of time, and then for over the holiday period, because I didn't really know where to start with the painting and all of that, because I was on my own. But anyway, then COVID happened, and and I thought everything had shut down, and so I didn't realize that things were still going forward. I did not see, to the best of my recollection, whatever the notices were in February. But not long after that, in the late spring of 2020, I became very ill with salmonella poisoning, and I will spare you the details of what that is like, but I
appreciate that.
Thank you. I ended up in the emergency room for one round in excruciating pain, and the next week was called into the hospital by my primary care doctor because I was septic at that point. And I don't mean to share with you all of my personal medical history, but I think these parts of it, you need to know what was going on with me. I had an abscess. The salmonella had caused an abscess on my spinal cord and also on my foot that required surgery. And so by the time I was in the hospital, I entered the hospital the last weekend in June. I was septic, drugged out of my mind, and waiting to have surgery, which they had to delay for a few days because I was on blood thinners. And they had the surgery, and then I was on my back for another about 5 weeks. I was 5 weeks in JFK Hospital, and then another 3 weeks in the acute rehab center at St. Mary's Hospital, for a total of about 8 weeks in hospital in general. And you'll recall during that time that you couldn't have any visitors, and people couldn't come in to bring you things. I wasn't getting mail. I had some people trying to help me, but there was very little I could do. I even had to have my brother try to arrange emergency care for my pets, one of which survived, and honestly, I lost 2 pets during that time because of the confusion with the woman who was trying to take care of those pets. It's a you can see the results of that with the animal control and their attempts to charge the woman with neglect of animals. It was a terrible, terrible year for me, and because of the salmonella.
Sounds like it.
I'm sorry?
Sounds like it.
It was, thank you. And because of all of that, I exited the hospital with a PICC line, still had antibiotics for weeks and weeks afterwards, dealing with the infectious disease doctor until well into the late fall and early winter of 2020. Had a ramp at my house because for a long time I could only walk with a walker. Now, you've seen my cane, I can do some walking, but that year was just a disaster. And so I missed, at some point I stopped thinking about it entirely. I hadn't thought about it in a long time until I went to sell the house. It was obvious to me that I couldn't stay in the house with the capacity I had now, and started to make arrangements to do this. And I think it was my realtor who did the search and found the lien, and I began to address it then. And you'll see from the pictures, I submitted a lot of pictures with my application that we did a total and complete redo of the house. There was a new roof. I spent $15,000 on a new roof, upgraded the shingles from the inexpensive, just the flat shingles, to the architectural shingles, which I had never known the difference of before. But anyway, I learned something. And then with the painting, the man who was doing it for me replaced a number of the clapboards with real redwood clapboards from California, because I know there's a whole issue with hardy board and all of that sort of stuff. So it was done properly. I explained that to Don Williams, the other Mr. Williams, and he said, yes, you're doing it the right way. That's a good thing. So, but it was quite a bit more expensive to do that. And then it's all been painted new colors. It matches the roof. It's, all of that. And then the entire front yard has been completely landscaped. So the whole thing had to be dug out and redone. And I've put this in the application, that the green, what looks like lawn from here, is actually ground cover. It's called perennial peanut, and it's on the list, the South Florida Water Management District's list of favorable plants for this area. And it fills in like a lawn, but it has these cute little yellow flowers on it, and it is drought resistant, low water, almost no maintenance. So for the next person, and for me, if I was going to have to stay there, it doesn't need to be mowed, it doesn't need to be watered, you don't have to have the whole sprinkler system and all of that. But the time I spent researching all of this and getting it all done and putting it all in was a lot of time and effort, and also quite a bit of money. And so I understand about where the fines happened, and I can't deny what's in the record. It is what it is. But I will say that I was not aware of them until way late in the process, and then tried to do the best I could to solve them. as best I could. And so, I'm requesting a substantial reduction. I appreciate Mr. Williams' offer. I didn't realize that that was something we could negotiate beforehand, so this is the first time I've been able to speak with him about that. But I would like to request, I think, a total of $5,000 for the two together, if that's possible.
What's the city think?
One moment. City will accept that, that offer, Magistrate.
All right, why don't we do it like this? How much time do you need?
I can do it almost immediately, but 30
All right,
days. if that's
we'll do 30 days. All right, in CE 220-10390, let's make that 1,000. And in CE 191000289, let's make that 4,000. All payable 30 days.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
One more, right?
This will be quick and painless, I promise.
Agenda number 29, case number CE 211-20174, case address 51849 Street. Again, that's 49th Street. We're going to be hearing that one together with agenda number 30, case number CE 22080-242, case number 518 49th Street.
Okay, Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. And case number CE 211-20174. This was originally cited December 14th, 2021. They were cited for garbage can placement, trash and debris, fence permit that was needed for the fence being in disrepair, outdoor storage, landscape maintenance, and overgrowth of the grass at the property. This went to a magistrate hearing March 16th, 2022. It was ordered for the fine to start as of April 16th, 2022. That ran for 359 days at $100 a day for a total of $35,900. And this was complied April 10th, 2023. And we have let me finish reading the cases and then we'll get into the situation here. For case number CE 220-80242, this was originally cited on August 11th, 2022. They were cited for rental license violation and certificate of use needed. This went to a special magistrate hearing October 19th, 2022. It was ordered for the fine to start as of November 21st, 2022. That ran for 161 days at $150 a day for a total of $24,150 and was complied May 1st, 2023. After speaking with the attorney for the owner, magistrate, we did find that there was an issue, with a clerical issue with the county property appraiser's office. He did provide proof of that, so the owner never got the notice. So in light of that, we'd like to accept his agreement to reduce each fine to $750, both payable within 30 days.
Can I add something to that? We just discovered that the $200 application fee for the lien reduction hasn't been paid, so I would ask that that be included in the reduction.
Addition or included? Addition
No,
to?
that should be added.
Added,
Another $200.
addition.
There's no
yeah,
objection to that.
Addition, yeah, that's good.
That's fine.
Now,
But I thought we did pay that. Can we just specify that it's separate? Because I'll confirm with my office. I thought I saw the receipt of payment.
Okay.
So I'll check on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay. And I saw Mr. Abrams had sent, but I think as usual, like 12 in the morning or something, you send emails, but I'm not understanding, Marcus, what was the issue with the, I saw the briefly cursory reading the address issue, but what was it
Correct.
exactly?
So,
Yeah, I'm kind of curious.
someone at the
Right,
property
yeah.
appraiser's office, I guess the software that they used, transposed the wrong address. The numbers were correct, 500 Southwest, but instead of Avenue, it was put in as street,
Okay.
and also sent to Ocala, Florida, as opposed to
West
Wow,
Pembroke
that should
Pines,
never
Florida.
happen.
Oh, and Pembroke Pines, okay.
Right. And
Okay.
I have an email here if you'd like to see
No,
it.
I
It's
saw
in-
the email and read it cursory, but I saw the avenue, I wasn't sure what it was before, or should it be, and then I didn't know of the Ocala Pembroke Pines.
Yeah, so
But
they-
I saw
they
where
took full
you got the
responsibility.
official documents, thanks.
We appreciate it, thank you.
Yeah, that's the first, I've been doing this a long time. That's the first time I've ever heard of that happening.
Same
I'm
here.
surprised that I got them to admit it in writing too. It just made it a
I'm
little
surprised
easier.
you did too.
Yeah. I was like, if this didn't go well, at least I got a claim against the county property appraiser's office.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, that's, never heard of that happening before, wow. All right, so, in, CE 211-20174, reduce it to $750, 30 days, good enough?
Yes, thank you.
Payable 30 days, and CE 220-80242, also $750, payable 30 days, on the, requirement that, counsel or his client pays the required application fee.
Sure. Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome. Bye.
I've never seen that before.
I know, I saw it when he sent it, but. Sir? Squeezing you in, yes.
Keep in mind, if both of them are not paid, it won't be released, okay? Thank you.
All right, seeing no further business before us, there is no further business before us, right?
No, magistrate.
We're adjourned.